The Meadowlands Racetrack in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the host of the 2024 Breeders' Crown, where tonight it's all about the freshmen.
A lot happens in a year. New faces fight for their moment of glory.
And it's Nijinsky in deep stretch. Drawing clear. Nijinsky hauls home the Pepsi North America Cup.
I think we're going to see him more and more in the next few weeks or months.
Champions look to defend their throne.
Twin B, Joe Fresh. She's going to get her 9th of the season and win the Dayton Distaff Derby. She is in the field all alone. A Twin B, Joe Fresh.
Others try to cement their monstrous campaign.
But it's by the missile, decisive winner.
All while the crowd cheers for victory.
It's Captain Albano and Tom McCarthy.
Now, at the Meadowlands Racetrack in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the best in the sport face off to be crowned as champions. 2 nights, 12 divisions, 1 goal. It all comes down to the Breeders' Crown.
It's Harness Racing's annual year-end championships, and it's in the shadows of the Big Apple. Welcome to the Meadowlands Racetrack in East Rutherford, New Jersey, host site of the 2024 Breeders' Crown. And we've got a great night for live racing. It is a clear late October night. The temperature currently sitting in the mid-50s. It's probably going to drop as we go by the minute, but the track is in tip-top shape. It is lightning fast. And here's what we've got coming up tonight. We've got 4 Breeders' Crown finals, all for the 2-year-olds. We're also going to throw in a bonus race, the Kindergarten Series in race number 9. But again, it's all about the Breeders' Crown. 12 championship races over the course of 2 nights. And welcome to the desk, and welcome to Cosa-Tv's coverage of the 2024 Breeders' Crown. My name is Mark McKelvey. To my left is Emily Ratcliffe. And Emily, I know we will say it many times, but it is true. In harness racing, it does all come down to the Breeders' Crown.
It certainly does, Mark, and the excitement is certainly palpable as we are back here on the backside, right in the heart of the action, and we are about to witness harness racing's greatness over the next 2 nights. And as you said, 2-year-olds, freshmen tonight. Stories will come out of tonight that we'll be talking about for years to come, and all right here on display in the Mecca of harness racing.
Yes, and when you think about it, it's over 40 years of history when it comes to the Breeders' Crown, and there's been a lot of great champions. But when it comes down to those 2-year-old races, a lot of the times winning a Breeders' Crown in your rookie season kind of is that launching pad to superstardom. So the rookies will be the focus here this evening. In total, across the 12 championship races, over $7 million in purses. Tonight's finals going for $700,000 each. So it's going to be some great racing action. Going to be a fun couple of nights, and we'll be bringing it to you right here on Cosa-TV. Mark and Emily with you on the desk. We've got a few other members of our broadcast team that it's time to introduce. The first one we're going to meet, he's in the paddock. He's Michael Carter.
Hey, thanks so much, Mark. As you said, there were several storylines leading up to this Breeders' Crown, including a few of the upsets last week. We had a couple of horses that were entering tonight on buys, including Champagne Problems and Maryland. Both of them qualified here at the Meadowlands. See how the buy may or may not have affected them. We'll see if their dominance continues to shine through. There's a lot of excitement and anticipation ready, and we're ready for another championship night here at the Meadowlands. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Michael. And we'll look forward to hearing the comments that you're able to get from the various trainers and drivers as we head into each of these 12 finals. The first of which tonight is going to be for the 2-year-old trotting fillies. That should be a real good showdown. And if you are lucky enough to win one of these Breeders' Crown races over the course of the weekend, you're going to drop by the Diamond Creek Winners Lounge, and that's where you're going to meet up with Heather Vitale.
That's right. It is always a party here in the Diamond Creek Winners Lounge. And, you know, it's really funny because our first Breeders' Crown final this evening showcases a little lady named Champagne Problems. Now, the only champagne problems we have in this room is finding someone to drink all of it with us, but that problem will be solved after each final. Winners will come in here. We will do a champagne toast and, of course, interview some happy connections in the Diamond Creek Winners Lounge. The motto is bottoms up on Breeders' Crown.
That's a pretty good motto, and looks like a pretty good setup.
It certainly does. I was just going to say, I don't know who did the assignments here, but I think we got the short end of the stick, Mark.
I kind of get that feeling, too. Hopefully they'll save some champagne for us for after the show. And we've got a great show coming up here tonight. We're going to be a little interactive over the course of tonight and tomorrow. If you want to play along with tonight's action, head to contestjockey.com. They are running a special Breeders' Crown contest both tonight and tomorrow. And essentially, it's win bets. They're going to give you a mythical bankroll. You take that money, you pick a horse, decide how much money you want to wager to win, and hopefully you're going to see your bankroll grow over the course of the evening. And as we get a little later in the broadcast, we'll take a look at the leaderboard. So if you're faring very well, we'll make sure to give you a shout out later on. So go to contestjockey.com to sign up and play. As mentioned, we've got our first of 4 Breeders' Crown Championships coming up very soon. The 2-year-old filly Trot is the first one up, and on the other side of the break, we'll tee it up. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the 2024 Breeders' Crown on Cosa-Tv.
Join today and get up to $100 in free bets. Get the ultimate horse betting experience with HPIBet.com.
By now, you know the name Cosa-Tv, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. Cosa-Tv has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out HPIBet.com. Cosa-Tv, taking Ontario racing global.
O'Brien Award Breeder of the Year, Tara Hills, is home to harness racing's most exciting young stallion. Green Manalishi's first crop has taken Ontario and the Grand Circuit by storm. It includes Peaceful Way winner Mona Lishi
with the
World Champion Cattle Wash has seen multiple New Jersey Sire Stake winners from his first crop, including final winning filly Reckless Abandon. His 2024 yearlings are eligible to the Ontario Sire Stakes. Don't miss your chance to buy one of their sons or daughters this fall. For more, visit TaraHills.com. And welcome back to the Meadowlands and night number 1 of the Breeders' Crown. Coming up first, it is the 2-year-old filly Trot for a purse of $700,000. There's a look at the field of 10 that's going to go forward. And Michael alluded to it off the top that we have a horse that received a bye, an automatic entry into this final. That's number 3, Champagne Problems. Now, you do wonder, having not raced in the elimination, is that a question mark? I know they qualified, but sometimes you just want to have that good tightener under your belt.
Certainly so, as you said. Certainly so, as you said, Mark, with the time off, a number of these fillies coming in, all of these fillies coming in off of those eliminations, the tightener over the oval, as you said. She has had some experience over here, as you said, with the qualifier. 5 wins, though, and I have to believe that her connections are very confident coming in, given her track record.
Well, driver Dexter Dunn, he is loaded. What a lineup he's got both tonight and tomorrow, and he had a decision to make in this final. He elects to go with number 6, Luna Lovegood, who was one of the elimination winners. He won't drive Champagne Problems instead. So let's take a look now back at last weekend's eliminations. They took place last Friday afternoon, and there was 3. This was the only Breeders' Crown division that needed 3 eliminations.
No room for Royal Mission on the inside. Miss Belmar, third over, excess cover, needs to fan out now. Half a dozen is the trailer and rough gated. 3/4, 126 and 4. A tight pack as they turn for home. Coming after Delaney Hanover, looking to finish it off. It's Sound Judgment looking to shake loose under some urging. Miss Belmar towers up late on the far outside. Santa Catarina between horses on the rail. Kendra in deep stretch. Delaney Hanover inching in. Sound Judgment looking for the upset. Sound Judgment trips out here over Delaney Hanover. And Miss Belmar and Kendra in 1, 54 and 4.
Look now at the second elimination. As you can see there, they were able to back things down in the second quarter. And as this race plays along, we're going to be watching for Lady Landia as she's sitting in the pocket spot.
Absolutely a perfect trip for Lady Landia, as you said, Mark. 2-hole trip for her, and I have to believe that her connections were very excited about that. You know, a lot of times I thought it was interesting too. She went up the inside. Some fillies, especially young fillies, don't typically can sometimes be a little hesitant, but it looked like he tried to go up the inside, eventually went to the outside, and she was much the best.
She was, as she's going to mow down her rival here and get the victory, stopping the clock in a final time there of 1:55.2. Driver change on this one tonight as well, as trainer Okas Fonsted's going to stick with stablemate What a Bid Hanover, and James McDonald's going to pick up the live catch drive. And now we go to our final elimination, and it is the aforementioned Luna Lovegood, and she was very good last Friday afternoon.
Vogish and Conversano, but Luna Lovegood looks to give them the slip. Is opened up, got some daylight for Dexter Dunn. Accelerates away by 3.5 lengths in 1:24.2. Luna Lovegood drifts out a bit here, but is in front by about 5. Full out is our Charm, trying to squeeze through What a Bid Hanover and late trot from Lasting Dream, as well as Spicy Nice. But it's a romp all alone. Luna Lovegood at 5-2. Luna Lovegood. Then What a Bid Hanover, Spicy Nice, Lasting Dream, and Vogish, 1:52.2.
Big performance there from Luna Lovegood, 1:52.2, and as you can see from that performance there, you can kind of figure out why Dexter Dunn's going to decide to drive her instead of Champagne Problems. Now, Champagne Problems really hasn't done anything wrong, and she's been dominant in recent weeks, but it must be a nice problem to have, but again, tough decision to make.
Certainly so, you know, and I've been a big fan of Luna Lovegood. Actually watched her down at the Red Mile pretty closely, and she started her career here at the Big M. She had a pair of qualifiers, but 6 of her 7 lifetime starts right down in Kentucky, and I've been thoroughly impressed with this young filly, and I think Dexter's done a great job of bringing her along. You know, as we talk about the freshman's mark, it's so interesting to me watching these fillies really develop into what we're seeing here tonight, and I think Luna Lovegood is a perfect example of that. She's been a dominant filly, but I think she's just getting better as the season's going on.
Well, we're going to meet the field in just a little bit when they step out onto the track for the post parade, but we'll take a little peek behind the scenes as we head into the paddock. And what I like about the Breeders' Crown, first of all, you get all the best horses, but especially in these 2-year-old categories, we don't necessarily see all of them go head-to-head all that often over the course of the summer months and into the fall, as everybody, for the most part, tries to stick to their respective sire stakes programs. So you're bringing together very deep and talented group to finally clash, and then that's what ends up happening for a driver like Dexter Dunn, where he's been able to really avoid having to make that selection between a couple of good ones because they haven't gone head to head. Here, it's going to be a real good matchup, and a horse I'm keeping my eye on as we work our way down the row will be the number 10, What a Bid Hanover. You look at how many starts some of these fillies have, and I'm sure if you ask each trainer, they have a sweet spot of how many they want. But for this one, trained by Okas Fonsted, just 4 starts under her belt, and it feels like they're just going along really slowly with her.
I thought that driver choice was very interesting. As you said, you take nothing away from Lady Landia and the likes, but I thought that was very interesting. You have to stick with her. We were just taking a look at a filly I'm looking forward to watching, and that's Cadena, Mark, from the Marcus Melander barn. Of course, this filly, no stranger to some headlines. She made headlines just last year. She was the most expensive yearling, $800,000 yearling purchase. That, of course, because her dam, Mission Brief, of course, won this very same race in 2014, and she was the divisional champ that same year. She actually still holds the stake record, 51-4, and Cadena is going to try to do what her mom did just a few years ago.
Yeah, she is regally bred, so she's meant to be good, and they get to this spot. You talk about the big investment that they had to put up to purchase her at the auction last fall, and now to be in this race, that's what you were hoping for all along. You don't buy those horses and not plan on being in the Breeders' Crown, and that's where she is. Driver Doug McNair is going to take over. Again, another one that Dexter Dunn has been driving, and I know we'll say his name an awful lot over the next couple of nights, and while he is probably one of the most calm and cool customers that you're going to meet in racing, I would imagine for him, probably really looking forward to this weekend, probably was just kind of counting down the minutes. When you've got to line up the way that he does, you're probably going to be disappointed if you don't walk away with a few Breeders' Crown trophies this weekend.
I know, like you said, it would be hard to say. A lot of guys come into a weekend like this and hope for one, but for him, it could be a slow night at the office if he doesn't go home with a few. And like you said, when you've got choices like he does, it's hard to not be hopeful to have just an absolutely incredible weekend. weekend.
So there's a look as the horses are getting set to get called out onto the track for the post parade, our first of 4 finals here tonight, and the betting board is speaking volumes. 3-2 right now on number 6, Luna Lovegood. So everybody kind of following along with Dexter Dunn. What I'm amazed by, though, is Champagne Problems right now is sitting at 8-1. I do wonder if the betting public really is just kind of hearing exactly that this decision by Dexter Dunn is what they need to know. I would not be counting out Champagne Problems, and especially when you look at who's picked up the drive.
It's certainly so, the money man himself. And, I think it's interesting, talking about trip handicapping and things like that. She draws to the inside. Another one that I think is interesting, as we're talking about the odds board, is the 7, Miss Belmar. She's 10-1 on the morning line, 9-5 right now. And I think that obviously has to do with her elimination. She was absolutely flying late, Mark, and she was one that I really wanted to use. I just kept going to other fillies on top of her. Just given her, she hasn't won. Hard for me to believe that she's going to break her maiden in the Breeders' Crown, but the betting public's certainly speaking so.
Yeah, that would be quite the way to break your maiden, no doubt about it. Well, we talked a little bit about number 5, Lady Landia, and Michael Carter is standing by with her driver, James McDonald.
Thanks so much, Mark. We're here with driver James McDonald. Almost called you Mark there. We're headed out onto the racetrack. Now, this will be the first time you've driven Lady Landia, but I'll tell you, you've won just about every race there is to win this year. What's it mean to pick up a catch drive in the Breeders' Crown?
It means a lot just to pick up any drive in the Breeders' Crown, but on a limb winner, it's pretty cool, and drive for a top barn like Svanstedt Stables is amazing. Just hopefully we can have a little luck here.
James, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Michael. Good to hear from James McDonald. He's got a busy couple of nights coming up. He's got some top contenders like It's a Love Thing and tomorrow night's 3-year-old filly pace final. But again, getting the call to pick up a drive like this, definitely tip of the cap to James, as he's just had an incredible last several years. His success in Canada has kind of started to parlay now into the United States. He won the Meadowlands Pace earlier this year with legendary Hanover. So when he comes here, he's got all the confidence in the world.
Certainly, and he should have it because, like you said, it just steamrolls into the confidence when you go behind the gate, and that's exactly what you need when you line up behind the gate for a race like this.
All right, it's time to meet the field for the Breeders' Crown 2-year-old filly trot. We kick things off with number 1, Sound Judgment. Recently returning to North America, trainer Jim Oscarson sends out this elimination winner. David Miller will drive 3 wins in 9 starts.
The 2 is Delaney Hanover. Lucas Wallen trains. 2-year-old filly by Muscle Hill. She was bred by Hanover Shoe Farms, of course, the winningest breeder in Breeders' Crown history. Tim Tetrick will get the call for the first time tonight, and this filly looking for her 3rd win in 7 lifetime starts.
The number 3 is Champagne Problems. She got the bye by winning the Doherty at Hoosier Park back in September. She has won 5 of 8 starts, and she's coming in off of back-to-back Grand Circuit scores. Nancy Tactor conditions, and Scott Zeron will drive here this evening.
The 4 is Cadena, previously mentioned. Marcus Melander trains. A 2-year-old filly by Chimpanzee, who, of course, Marcus Melander trained as well. Doug McNair will drive the filly, and she's looking for her 3rd lifetime victory, bred by Mission Brief Stables in Kentucky.
There's number 5, Lady Landia. We heard from James McDonald. He drives for Oka Svanstedt. I was going to hand the lines over. He had been driving this one exclusively to this point in her racing career, where she is a 3-time winner from 7 starts, including taking her elimination last week in 155-2.
There's the 6, Luna Lovegood. As we said, Dexter Dunn opting to stick with her for trainer Marcus Melander. She's owned by Holly Lane Stud of Vero Beach, and she was bred by Blue Chip Farms and Stefan Melander.
Noel Daly trains number 7, Miss Belmar, who is taking quite a bit of betting support. Andrew McCarthy will drive back-to-back 3rd-place finishes in Grand Circuit contests coming into this evening.
The 8 is A Perfect Annie, driver Todd McCarthy for trainer Carter Penske. She's owned by Penske Stables, Melvin Hartman, and Andre Farms of Pennsylvania. She was bred by Robert Detweiler. She's also looking for her 4th win in 10 lifetime starts.
Here's a formidable duo, Gingras and Tactor. This is Spicy Nice, who goes from post 9, owned by Morrison Racing Stables, and John Fielding, a 2-time winner, was 3rd in her elimination, did trot in 153-3.
There's a look at the 10, What a Bid Hanover for Team Svanstedt, owned by Team Svanstedt and SRF Stable. This filly, bred by Herb Liverman. She was a $275,000 yearling purchase, a 2-year-old filly by Muscle Hill, looking for her 2nd lifetime victory.
All right, so there's the field of 10 2-year-old trotting fillies for our first of 12 Breeders' Crown races this weekend. Carter Penske sends out number 8, A Perfect Annie, who just got nailed at the wire in her elimination. She's had a good rookie campaign, and Carter is standing by with her own Michael Carter.
Thanks so much, Mark. We are back here in the paddock with trainer Carter Pinsky. And Carter, let's talk a little bit about Perfect Annie, $70,000 Lexington selected yearling purchase. She's really come along well over the last couple of starts.
Yeah, you know, she's done a good job all summer. She's raced all year long. She's been solid, and she seems to show up every week, so I've been proud of her.
Now, take nothing away from her. Her elimination was absolutely amazing. She just got caught there by Lady Landia, but you know what? We want to have something left for this week.
Yeah, you know, I thought she raced good. It was a bit of a windy day there in the stretch, and she just got caught late, but she trotted through the wire, so I was happy with it.
Carter, good luck.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Michael Carter catching up with Carter Pinsky, who sends out number 8, a Perfect Annie. And last week, early in the card, if you were watching along last Friday afternoon, the front end wasn't necessarily really holding up, and she does give way late and ends up finishing in second. But you know, her resume is strong. She spent a good chunk of this season, pretty much up until now, in Kentucky, racing in the Sire Stakes there. So you know, first time traveling as well, really to race. And this week, I think you've got to give her a good opportunity. Todd McCarthy knows this one well. Has been her exclusive driver all along.
Yeah, you know, and we talk a little bit about it, Mark, as far as the eliminations are concerned. And Carter mentioning she trotted right through the wire. Unfortunately for her, she did all the heavy lifting, wasn't able to get the victory, and so therefore she draws to the outside, which is obviously a little bit of a concern as you've got some speed to your inside and Luna Lovegood to your inside as well. So as we said, she did all the heavy lifting, did everything but got her picture taken. Unfortunately, draws to the outside, but she does have a late closing kick. We've seen a little bit of everything from her. That's what I particularly like about her. She's got a little bit of versatility. We've seen her step off the gate a little bit, but we've also seen her come home in 27 seconds too. Has a lot of options as far as what he decides to do. He also on a roll. He's had a few winners already on tonight's program. We're 6 races in. I believe he's got a driving double on the card. So talk about confidence. He's got to have some confidence going into this one.
Yeah, it's always nice when you can get a win early in the card just to get things rolling in the right direction. Now we head into the big dances here tonight, the first of 4 Breeders' Crown races. There is a look at number 3, Champagne Problems. And if you asked somebody a month ago when she won at Hoosier to get that automatic buy into the final that you were going to get 6-1 on her, you'd say absolutely, I'd take that any day.
Very much so. And a similar story for Nancy Tactor. If you had told me that you know, you were going to get a Nancy Tactor Scott Zeron combo at that kind of price, you certainly jump in on it. Of course, Nancy's father, Jimmy Tactor, trained Manchego, who is one of only 7 horses to ever win 3 Breeders' Crown titles, including trotting filly, which she won in 2017, 19, and 20. So Nancy certainly knows her way around a young trotting filly.
Absolutely, she does. Last year's winner was Warwee Michelle of the 2-year-old filly trot. She'll be racing in tomorrow night's 3-year-old filly trot, and that's something that kind of caught my eye going through the entries for this weekend. How many of those 2-year-old champions have come back this year and have had good seasons, and they're right back in the Breeders' Crown once again. I mean, we look at this field of 10, and there's a good chance we'll see a lot of these fillies on the first Saturday in August in the Hambletonian Oaks next year. I know it's a long ways away, but getting to this spot kind of stamps that you've got a serious racehorse. There's still a lot of money on the line coming back in the 3-year-old campaign. Yeah,
and you talk about serious racehorse and Team Sponset. Nobody does it any better than Team Sponset. They know how to campaign, get one from the start of a season to the finish, and just like you said, certainly evidence in that Warwee Michelle is back for another campaign. And as I believe Michael Carter standing by with Team Sponset.
Thanks so much, Emily. We've got Sarah Svanstedt here. And Sarah, let's talk about a couple of the ones that you have here. We've got Lady Landia, and boy, was she razor sharp off a perfect trip last week.
Yeah, she did a very good race, and she has a good pulse now too. Still green feeling mentally. Some days she is a girly type of thing. Don't tell me what to do. So I hope she has wake up on the right to that night.
Now, from post 10, you've got a bit Hanover sort of being dismissed, but this has been one of the more consistent horses in the field and has been pretty strong this year.
She has not that many starts. She was growing late and that's why she's late, but she have done tremendous racing. I had her the first time and I was sitting in the last turn and tell her, slow down girl, it's just like a race we're practicing today, and she has a very talent speed and is a perfect racer. So next year I hope we're going to see more of her.
Now, how important it is to let these 2-year-olds kind of mature into their own?
I mean, it's easy to overdo them because many of them are so talented, so it's always not that easy to say like we have a great racehorse and then you do too much with them as a 2-year-old. So it's like a little bit of a map to follow to see you don't do too much, but they still need the racing routines and also like the speed in them. So the 2-year-old season is a tricky one for a trainer.
Sarah, good luck.
Thank you so much.
Guys, back to you.
Thanks.
you very much, Michael. Good comments there from Sarah Svanstead. There's a look at number 10, What a Bid Hanover, and this was a horse that I was seriously considering taking a swing on at 14-1. You knew you'd get a pretty good price just because of the post position landing the 10 hole, but Sarah talked about how they just had to take their time coming along with this filly, and I don't think they've really even asked her to show what she's truly made of. I think they've kind of really babied her in recent starts, and if you saw her elimination last week, which we looked back a little while ago, she finished up with all kinds of trot once she got some clearance late in the mile. I do wonder if maybe tonight does Oka Svanstead decide tonight's the night to hit the go button and maybe try and send her a bit from the 10 hole.
Well, if there was a night, tonight would be that night. And as you said, and as we heard from Sarah there, she's really just getting into a racing routine where a number of these fillies have got 9, 8 starts on the season. She's really just getting rolling. But the thing I like most is she's got those consecutive starts. So she's really getting tight now and getting into racing form. As you said, if there was a night to send them, I think tonight would be that night.
And again, Oka Svanstead takes this one over the elimination winner, Lady Landia. And I don't know if maybe he's thinking, well, she's a little trickier, but I think he's driving the one that he thinks has maybe got the most talent of the pair. And while we maybe haven't seen it just yet, obviously they've got some big hopes for her going into next season. But right now it's 3-5 on number 6, Luna Lovegood. The Svanstead stable has won this Breeders' Crown 2-year-old filly trot in back-to-back years, so they're trying to make it a three-peat, and they've got 2 chances. But can anybody take down Luna Lovegood as the gate starts to roll? I'll go to you for a final comment here, Emily. Who are you going to back in the 2-year-old filly trot?
I'm going to Luna Lovegood. As I said, I think she's just a step ahead of this group. I've watched her, and I'm going to stick with her even at the short price of 3-5.
Yeah, and I'm with you here. So we're going to both be backing number 6, Luna Lovegood, the heavy favorite as the gate is rolling for our first of 12 Breeders' Crown races. It's time to throw things up to the voice of the Meadowlands, Ken Workington.
Elimination winner at 9-2. The 3 Champagne Problems fresh off the bench there. 7 Miss Belmar taking 5-1 action. On gate for the 6th. Here they come. And they're off in the Breeders' Crown underway. Perfect Annie lift hard on the outside with Miss Belmar from the inside. And Lady Landia flashing speed there. Luna Lovegood looking for a spot on the cones in between horses. Sound Judgment cuts the corner on her as they head to the opening quarter. And Luna Lovegood went off stride. Luna Lovegood broke. Delaney Hanover is now 5th on the inside. Then it's Champagne Problem, 6th past the opening quarter, followed by Cadena and Spicy Nice and What a Bid Hanover. Back trotting after the miscue. Luna Lovegood at odds on 1-2. 28 soft opening quarter. Miss Belmar and Andrew McCarthy plants her up front. Miss Belmar leads the way. A Perfect Annie is in for that 2-hole ride as they continue across the backstretch. Lady Landia tracking from 3rd. Not a fast pace here. Sound Judgment a peak to the outside 4th. That one followed by Delaney Hanover on the inside 5th. Another 2 lengths to Champagne Problems, who needs to get going. She tips into the 2-path, followed by Cadena to her inside. Spicy Nice to the outside. And then it's Luna Lovegood next to last, and now trailing What a Bid Hanover. Half was just 57-1. Miss Belmar looking to steal it. Miss Belmar, a Perfect Annie, stalks her all the way as they continue around that far turn. Delaney Hanover grinding her way up into 3rd on the outside, 1st over. Lady Landia stayed in 4th. To the outside, that Champagne Problems who needs to get going, but she's spinning her wheels. Sound Judgment needs to shake loose out of traffic as they turn for home. And Cadena tips to the outside, 125-4. They're in the stretch of the Breeders' Crown. Miss Belmar by 2.5 has some separation. But here comes Lady Landia on the outside. Elimination winner trying to track her down. Miss Belmar digs in. It's Lady Landia and James McDonald right by. Lady Landia, 12-1 upsetter. Lady Landia, a Breeders' Crown champion. Then Miss Belmar, Sound Judgment, and What a Bid Hanover in 153-3.
Lady Landia wins our first Breeders' Crown of the weekend and does it in upset fashion, I guess if you could say that for an elimination winner. But the heavy favorite, number 6, Luna Lovegood, makes a break in the first turn. That changes the complexion of the race, and while there wasn't a lot of speed up front, everybody was just waiting, and waiting patiently was James McDonald. He unleashes Lady Landia, and she surges to victory. That'll give James McDonald his first Breeders' Crown title, and it gives trainer Oka Svanstead 3 in a row in this 2-year-old filly trot division.
And would love to hear that conversation as they cross the wire, because Oki was right behind him as they crossed the wire there. And as Michael Carter talked to James McDonald going out, great way to kick off the program. Great way to pick up a Breeders' Crown victory. And this filly, take nothing away from her, just absolutely incredible performance. And I think, Mark, that's maybe what makes the Breeders' Crown handicapping so interesting. Looks like how things are going to go on paper, and it's the Breeders' Crown. We say it all comes down to the Breeders' Crown. It never works out like you think it's going to.
No, it doesn't. And I said that to somebody earlier today. Either those top horses that are in great form and have been superstars all along will deliver, or you're probably going to get some stunners. Here was Lady Landia, though, kind of somewhere in between. Again, she went off at double digits, but had the resume, and she delivers here tonight to win our first Breeders' Crown final, getting it done for James McDonald. And we'll be going to the winner's circle when we come back. Breeders' Crown weekend is officially underway from the Meadowlands. Don't go anywhere. You're watching live coverage here on Cosa-Tv.
Sealster, a name synonymous with quality. From their picturesque farm in Lucan, Ontario, Sealster Farms has been producing champions for decades. Stars like $650,000 winner Poseidon Sealster, millionaire mares Karma and Kendall Sealster, and two-time O'Brien Award-winning Stockade Sealster. Sealster is also the home of many of Canada's top stallions, like Sunshine Beach, All Bets Off, and world champion superstar Bulldog Hanover, the sport's all-time fastest performer. Find your next champion at Sealster Farms. For more information, visit sealsterfarms.com.
By now, you know the name Cosa-Tv, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. Cosa-Tv has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. Cosa-Tv, taking Ontario racing global.
And welcome back to Cosa-Tv's coverage of the 2024 Breeders' Crown, where we are now underway, and the first of 12 finals this weekend goes to Lady Landia. Driver James McDonald, trainer Oka Svanstedt, has this daughter of Tactical Landing, won her elimination last week and comes back and wins the final here tonight. Obviously, I mean, everything changed in that first turn when Luna Lovegood made the miscue, and you have to wonder, maybe we'll get that in the post-race comments from James McDonald, whether or not he was aware, because if he wasn't, you were probably wondering where the heck is Luna Lovegood. She's got to be coming to the lead soon, and it felt like the horses up front kind of took full advantage of that. There wasn't a whole lot of early speed. They just kind of got to wait up front and do things at their own pace.
They certainly did, and Miss Belmar was able to get to the front relatively easy, and then, as you said, kind of a slow pace going to the quarter, and they just simply sprinted home. And Luna Lovegood looked like she just I really can't say why she made a break, but looked like just there in the first turn and completely took herself out of it. And taking a look at the prices, Mark completely opened things up. And as I'm looking at my picks, I couldn't have been further from what we saw there as far as the top four finishers are concerned.
Well, there is the Happy Connections coming out into the winner's circle to join Lady Landia,
homebred
who has
too.
won, yes, the Breeders' Crown. And you noted that during our commercial break, a homebred here, and the owner and the CEO of the Meadowlands, Jeff Garral, part of the crew here. So talk about kicking off the weekend in style for the hometown horse, so to speak.
Yeah, certainly so. Like you said, certainly makes things a little special, a little more special when you've got some skin in the game. And then to get to the winner's circle at your own track, that's certainly one to remember.
Well, this Breeders' Crown final was sponsored by the SPOA of New Jersey and Trot Pack. So happy group out there in the winner's circle, and the winning connections will be dropping by the Diamond Creek Winners Lounge in just a little bit. Once they're back there, we will throw things to Heather to check on in. But let's take a quick look at the prices just before we go to the winner's circle interview. Lady Landia, $26 winner. Miss Belmar, you were tapping me on the shoulder going, she might break her maiden here. She led them into the lane and finishes a very respectable second. That's a great effort. The one sound judgment was third. And What a Bit Hanover was coming from way back, a good rally. And again, this is a horse we're going to be watching going forward as we look ahead to 2025.
I was going to say that, Mark. If we're fortunate enough to be sitting here, maybe we'll be in the Diamond Creek Winners Lounge. But I think we'll be talking about What a Bit Hanover. As Sarah Sponstead said, managing these 2-year-olds and bringing them along, have to believe that her connections are very excited about the season or the races that lie ahead of her based on the talent that we've seen leading into tonight's race.
And if you're playing along at contestjockey.com and you had this winner, well, your bankroll just skyrocketed. $26.60 for Lady Landia. $13 to place in the 7 Miss Belmar. There's a look
incredible exacta there.
Yeah, look at the exacta there. $252.20. That's more than all right. So congratulations to the players out there that hit some of these prices here, because we're starting off with some fireworks, and sometimes that kind of becomes the trend, doesn't it, Emily? You see some upsets and it just kind of continues to snowball from there.
I was just going to say, and that's why we talk about driver doubles and things like that. When these guys get on a roll, it pays to pay attention, jump in and pay attention to those kind of things. Interestingly enough, we talked about the pace mark. Lady Landia, that's a new lifetime mark. Hard for me to believe. 53 and change. Obviously a very great mile on a cool night, but she's got a mark of 54-1, and this is a filly that has had some success. She's been a well-traveled filly. She's raced here at the Meadowlands, also in Lexington as well, but a new lifetime best, and that always speaks volumes to me, Mark, as we talk about the way that the season goes. When your filly can reach in and turn in a performance like that at the end of her 2-year-old campaign, just speaks to the job that they've done managing her throughout, 7-8 starts throughout her season.
Well, we'll have to see how many of these fillies continue on this season. There's still the Goldsmith Maid, part of the Fall 4 series that comes up here in a few weeks at the Meadowlands. You would think for a good chunk of these, this will be it, and they'll get shut down and start to look forward to their 3-year-old seasons coming up in 2025. But if that's it for Lady Landia this season, going out in style, winning the $700,000 Breeders' Crown, and again, the Swanstead stable continues to dominate this division.
Worth mentioning, too, for those folks that are tuning in, our counterpart, Michael Carter, talked to Sarah Swanstead and talked to James McDonald. So just on the wagering side of things, we might be onto something there. If Carter talks to him, you may want to go to the window and place a couple bucks.
Yeah, they might be lining up in there, the drivers and trainers, and I know how that goes.
Yeah, let me talk. That never happens.
Never do.
Let's make sure that we promote that, because he's good luck. So you're gonna want to. He's gonna have a line out the door to try to talk to him.
I remember having a trainer say, "No, it's
bad luck."
And
then
they made a break, and I didn't go over and say anything. Trust me. But again, I'd like to get that info, and we got some good info there. Obviously, James McDonald was very excited to pick up this drive. Talk about kind of being Johnny on the spot, or James on the spot in this case. But to get the call from the Swanstead stable, who has called him before. He drove Warmy Michelle in a stake at Pocono this past summer and got the victory. So clearly, they've kind of got a good relationship going there. And when looking for somebody, they go to him. And if you deliver in spots like this, you're going to keep getting those calls.
Yeah, and like we talked about just a few seconds ago, as far as steamrolling into that success, not only does it bode well for your confidence, but bodes well for your track record as well. When people are looking for drivers, certainly has to be top the list.
Absolutely. So James McDonald, the 3-time defending Canadian Driver of the Year, he's loving it here at the Meadowlands. He won the Meadowlands Pace. He had a Grand Slam that night, and he kicks off Breeders' Crown weekend, where he's going to be one of the busiest drivers in style, winning with Lady Landia. We're just waiting for the Winner's Circle interviews to commence. We're going to throw things over to there. Our partners with the Meadowlands simulcast crew are going to be handling the post-race Winner's Circle interviews, Greg Blanchard and Dave Little. Greg's going to be in this spot tomorrow night. He'll be alongside you, Emily, and I know he was really looking forward to this weekend. And for yourself as well, I mean, the Breeders' Crown, I've always got these dates circled.
Certainly, and like we said, we don't say it all comes down to the Breeders' Crown for nothing. And as you said, you watch these horses all throughout the season, and certainly is the icing on the cake.
All right, so we're just waiting to go to the Winner's Circle, and we'll check in with the connections of Lady Landia, a $225,000 yearling purchase out of the Lexington sale. There were some big tickets in this field, winning the winner's share of a $700,000 purse. Well, that's going to get a lot of your money back right there. So $350,000, and a big congrats to Lady Landia. And if she's just like her other trainer victories in this event, whether that be Warwick Michelle or Special Way, she's got quite the bright future, and we'll look forward to tracking her heading into next season. All right, I can see them in the winner's circle there. I think they're just about
they're
set.
in the spot.
All right, well, we're going to toss things over and check in with the Meadowlands crew, winning driver James McDonald.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the winner's circle. Dave Little with you. I'm joined by James McDonald, the winning driver of the 2-year-old filly trot Breeders' Crown final with Lady Landia, an Oka Svanstead trained filly. First and foremost, you never forget your first. It's your first Breeders' Crown final. How's that feel?
It was amazing. Yeah, you just coming down the lane. The horse was trotting so hard, and I thought I had a pretty good shot at getting there. And I was just a lot of thoughts going through my head, a lot of Breeders' Crowns down the drain. So it was good to get my first, and just really proud to pick up the drive for Team Svanstedt there.
You know, you picked up the drive. When did you find out you were going to drive this filly?
When the final changes came out. Anyone that knows hockey knows he's not a man of too many words, and he's never asked me before to drive any. He just when I see my name down on the sheet, I'm just always really happy to drive for them, especially on these big nights. He always has the horses ready to go, and their barn's firing on all cylinders right now. So anytime you can pick up a drive in the Breeders' Crown, it's special. But when you pick up an limb winner, it means a little bit more.
I noticed that you got out of there pretty good to get a good spot. You're sitting third at the rail to the 5/8. What did you think of your chances at that point?
They felt pretty good. I was kind of, I didn't know where Dex was, but I liked where I was sitting. I thought originally in the first turn maybe I'd get away fourth because I thought Dex might brush to the lead. We weren't going a whole lot, but I was just happy to ride it out and fall in two good ones. And when I edged her at the top of the stretch, she just jumped forward, and it was all systems go from there. And then it was just hold on, don't fall off, and just get ready to celebrate.
I mean, it was really incredible how much she sprinted that final eighth of a mile. I mean, were you even surprised at how much gas she had in the tank?
Yeah, she felt loaded turning for home, and the second I moved her off Todd's back, her head dropped and she just bolted, and I was like, "Oh, baby, I think we're in business here." So, it's really exciting for me. Really proud to, like I said, get my first Breeders' Crown.
James McDonald, the three-time defending Canadian Driver of the Year, making a name for himself right here at the Meadowlands. Earlier this year, won the Meadowlands Pace with legendary Hanover, and now wins the Breeders' Crown 2-year-old filly trotting final with Lady Landia. Congratulations.
Thanks, Dave.
Winback Farm of Delaware is home to 8 exceptional stallions. New in 2024, Nutcracker Sweet, a full-blooded double millionaire bittersweet and half-brother the Great Sweet Lou. Champion He's Watching, a Bruin Sire Stakes winners, including double millionaire tattoo artist, Sports Column, an Ontario Sire Stakes star, and a 19-time winner. Top Flight Angel, who won the Yonkers Trot Final and is a multiple New York Sire Stakes champion. Also standing, Badlands Hanover, Classic Card Shark, Glide Master, and Ronnie's Bags Again. For more information, visit winbackfarm.com.
Reach the people you have to reach by advertising in Harness Racing Update, the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU provides the best bang for your advertising dollars because we reach and engage your potential customers anywhere in the world. Not only has HRU grown its subscriber base by nearly 30% in just 3 years, but our open and click rates far exceed industry averages, which tells us that readers are engaged with the digital publication and how they receive it. Plus, your ad support helps us keep HRU free to subscribers. Find out more today by visiting harnessracingupdate.com and clicking on the advertising link at the top of the page.
And we're bringing you back to the Meadowlands as the Breeders' Crown is officially underway. One of our 4 finals tonight is in the books. It goes to Lady Landia, James McDonald, and trainer Oka Svanstedt. So they're celebrating. There'll be lots of smiles in that winner's circle, and they're being carried over now to the Diamond Creek Winners Lounge, where Heather Vitale is standing by with a man who needs no introduction here at the Meadowlands, Jeff Corral.
I am telling you, what a way to start the night, right? Jeff Gorell, the owner of the Meadowlands. He is not only a co-owner of Lady Landia, and he is also a co-breeder. So, Jeff, I mean, what were you thinking during the race? Because, wow, she was a long shot.
I thought, please get out, especially, you could see, usually when you're sitting third, if you don't pull, you're in a lot of trouble. So I could see that he had a ton of horse, but I couldn't tell if she was going to get out, and I could see the horse outside her was no good. So once she got out, I thought I had a real good chance to win. She's tough down the stretch. She's a good horse.
You've won a lot of big races, but winning a Breeders' Crown, it's so special, isn't it?
Yes. Very special.
Now tell me about the mare, since you are a co-breeder on this horse. 7 times a lady. You raced her?
We raced her in the New York Sire Stakes mainly. And I think I own half the horse by mistake, because I think one of the people who was supposed to own 25%, never put up their money. So they put me down for 50% instead of 25%. And I didn't even know that until the final of the New York Sires. And I said to my secretary, I said, they're sending me a bill for 50%. I only own 25%. And she said, no, you own 50%.
That's okay.
Yeah,
And
it usually works the opposite way, you know.
now, Little E Incorporated, Little E, who is that?
My grandson, Ethan, I named a lot of horses after my grandkids, but I wasn't having much luck, so I decided to name the stable after one of my grandkids instead of one of the horses. So, and he's 6'6", so that's where Little E comes in.
I love it. A great story. Thank you, Jeff, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Heather, and we don't really have any time to waste on this night one of the Breeders' Crown because we roll into the 2-year-old filly pace final now. Let's meet the field. Number 1 is Looks Good in Lulu, and she turned in a track record performance to win her elimination 148-4. Yannick Gingras drives for trainer Ron Burke, 4 for 7 this season.
Taking a look at the 2, that's Duration from the Tony Alagna barn. A 2-year-old filly by Captain Treacherous. Todd McCarthy will get the call, bred by Robinson, Mondillo, and Cheatham. She's looking for her 2nd win of the season.
We'll catch up with all the starters here as we roll along. Number 3 is Millie Mae Hanover. Andrew Harris trains. Jason Bartlett's going to drive. This one squeaked into the final with a 5th place effort. Kind of just been a step below, but she's been a good check collector. Has made over $100,000 this season.
Speaking of check collector, the 4 Rose for Team Burke. This is a 2-year-old filly by Sweet Lou. Has won 7 of 9 lifetime starts. She's owned by Burke Racing, Weaver Buscemi, Pyatt, and Carr. She's a homebred daughter of Sweet Lou. Tim Teacher gets the call.
Number 5, Giggling on the Beach, is going to be the first Breeders' Crown starter for trainer Juan Cano. Andrew McCarthy will drive 4th in her elimination to qualify for the final. She's got 3 wins from 7 starts. 6 times she's been on the board.
The 6th of the Last Martini, Doug McNair drives for Glenview Livestock Ltd, a 2-year-old filly by Huntsville. She an elimination winner in a new lifetime best of 151. She's won 4 of 9 and is a New York Sire Stakes champion.
Number 7 is Can't See Me, and these are the connections of Sylvia Hanover. Just a few years back, they won this Breeders' Crown 2-year-old filly pace division. Bob McClure drives for trainer Mark Stacey and Hudson Standardbred stable. 4 wins in 9 starts for the daughter of Captain Treacherous.
8 is Unreasonable. Irv Miller trains. Scott Zeron drives, a 2-year-old filly by Huntsville. She's won 3 of 9. Of course, Team Miller won this very same division back in 2016. Some omen somewhere.
The 9 is Mickey and Minnie for trainer Chris Ryder and driver Dexter Dunn. 3rd in her elimination. She has been in the top 2, 8 of 9 starts. She's a 4-time winner with the sub-150 mark of 149-4.
The 10 rounds out the field for Team Burke, a 2-year-old filly by Captain Treacherous. David Miller will drive. That's Rodeo Drive Deo, bred by Deo Valente Farms and Cool Cat Racing. She's been on the board in 6 of 8. Has her lifetime best of 150-1 taken at the Red Mile.
All right, well, it's fitting that we cap it off with a Ron Burke trainee and Rodeo Drive Dale. He also sends out elimination winner Looks Good in Lulu, and he is standing by with our own Michael Carter.
Thanks so much, Mark. We're in the back here with trainer Ron Burke. And Ronnie, let's talk about a couple of horses that you've got in tonight. You set the stakes record of 149-2 with the 2-year-old filly My Girl EJ last year. Tonight you've got 3 in this race with Looks Good in Lulu, Rose, and Rodeo Drive Deo.
Yeah, no, the very, good fillies. I think the one is the best I've trained ever at this point, and the other 2 aren't really far behind her.
Now, you last 2-year-old Colton Gelding trot with a horse by the name of Southwind Frank. You might remember that one. Tonight, you've got a pair of chances with Hidalgo, who has been knocking on the door of as of late, and Tactical Dynasty seems to be gaining some momentum with the addition of hobbles.
Yeah, they both had good weeks. Hidalgo was good last week, a little bit of a steering change, and I think he'll be better. Actually, Tactical's blood was out of whack last week, trained back like himself this week. I could see him way better.
Now, Ronnie, one last event we want to talk about. It's another one that you own a stakes record in, is the 2-year-old Colton Gelding Pace. You've got several in here, but Ohio-bred Swingtown. I'm a little bit favorable to those Ohio-breds, but he topped everyone in the elimination last week. It was his first Grand Circuit win, but the Metro was probably his most eye-popping race on paper. He was parked the mile and had so much ground to make up, but clearly had plenty left in the tank.
Yeah, I love the horse, but while he's your favorite, Lou Print's my favorite. So, it's tough. Like, I cheer for him, but I hate to cheer against the other colt. But, I have 4 of them. I think they all have shots. I'm happy. Let's go.
Now, I do have to ask you, being from Ohio, what about these Ohio breds? They're really kind of sticking out here lately.
Yeah, no, down by Seaside's a great sire, and, could be summa cum laude.
Ronnie, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Michael. And yes, Ron Burke, always busy on nights like tonight, and we appreciate him taking a little time to chat about his starters and some pretty big praise for the number one Looks Good in Lulu.
I know, Mark, we were talking off air. When a guy like Ron Burke, who has had the horses that he's had, and of course the success that he's had, a leading trainer in harness racing, goes out on a limb, and I shouldn't say limb, but steps out there and says something like that about Looks Good in Lulu. I think that speaks so highly of the filly because, of course, we cannot count out the type of horse flesh that this man has had. We just talked about it. My girl EJ, it still holds the stakes record. They were winner at this very same division last year. And, of course, teamed up with Yannick just a few years ago with Warwi Yubu, who, of course, was by Sweet Lou. Again, you can't discount the success that this team has had in this very same division.
Incredible that she has won in back-to-back starts in sub 149. 48-3 at the Red Mile, 48-4 last weekend, a track record right here at the Meadowlands. She's been dominant, and again, another clear-cut favorite as we go into this Breeders' Crown final. Let's talk about the other elimination window, though. That's number 6, the Last Martini. For the most part, this horse gets spotted up close, but last week, driver Doug McNair, very patient, ended up working out a real nice trip, kind of overland around the last turn, and she surges up to get the victory. I like the way he drove her last week. I just wonder, is he going to be aggressive here tonight? Because I don't imagine that patience was going to work out 2 weeks in a row, especially with the big money on the line.
Right, and she's maybe we'll say flown under the radar, if you can say. She's made $353,000 and flown under the radar, but of course she's followed in the footsteps of Chantilly, and she's a great lady and the likes. But I was so impressed with this filly in her elimination, as you said, closed with all kinds of pace, 26-2, and looked like she could have gone another lap if she wanted to. So absolutely love the way this filly looked in her elimination, and I love the 7-1 price. If you're not wanting to jump in on the favorites, as we saw how the favorites failed in the first Breeders' Crown, I think the Last Martini is the route to go here.
All right, she's currently the second choice at 7-1, along with the number 9, Mickey and Minnie. Dexter Dunn looking to rebound after things didn't go his way with Luna Lovegood in our last Breeders' Crown final. But we're set to go 3-5 right now. Number 1 Looks Good in Lulu. It's the 2-year-old filly pace Breeders' Crown. We send things to Ken Workington.
Record holder Looks Good in Lulu. Fillies on gate, 7th race. Here they come. They're off. Mickey and Minnie trying to blast off on the far outside. The Last Martini and Rose with Duration on the inside, flashing speed, and Looks Good in Lulu. The big favorite on the rail into the first turn. It's Rose. Rose takes the lead into the first turn. Duration going to settle for the pocket spot early. And driving up is the Last Martini from third. Looks Good in Lulu. Fourth on the inside. Mickey and Minnie is fifth past the opening quarter. Then comes Millie May Hanover, Rodeo, Drive Deo, and Giggling on the Beach. And trailing at the back there is Unreasonable, stride for stride with Can't See Me. 27-2 as they race across the backstretch, and Looks Good in Lulu makes her move to the front for Yannick Gingras. The Last Martini under a big rain there with Doug McNair had her revved up in second now. Rose is back to third, and here comes Dexter Dunn and Mickey and Minnie first up on the outside. A live toe for Rodeo, Drive Deo. A shuffle for Duration on the inside. Into the flow, Giggling on the Beach is third over. Fourth over is Unreasonable, stride for stride with Millie May Hanover. Can't See Me is the trailer. That half up was 55 and 4, 28-2. And the target is Looks Good in Lulu. Heavy pressure from Mickey and Minnie on the outside, second and threatening. The Last Martini. Doug McNair has a lap full there in the pocket spot and is locked in right now. Rodeo, Drive Deo setting it up from third over. Looking for racing room is Rose on the inside. They turn home off 3/4 in 1:24. Looks Good in Lulu, and on the outside, Mickey and Minnie is gigantic first over. Steamrolls to the top for Dexter Dunn. Mickey and Minnie drawing clear from Looks Good in Lulu. Mickey and Minnie, a Breeders' Crown champion, over the Last Martini. Then Rodeo, Drive Deo, and Looks Good in Lulu in 1:50 and 2.
Well, how about that for a rebound for driver Dexter Dunn? Yes, he'll quickly forget what happened in the 2-year-old filly trot final with that miscue with Luna Lovegood, and he just comes right back with Mickey and Minnie first up, powerhouse performance. And Chris Ryder, the winning trainer, is standing by with Michael Carter.
It was just about on even terms.
Congratulations on a big victory. How about that?
Yo-ho, Mickey and Minnie, she's no cartoon. Okay?
Congratulations, Chris.
You got me?
All right, that's all we needed to know. She's no cartoon. She is the real deal, and she was here tonight, taking down the heavy favorite. Looks good in Lulu, and full marks for this effort here this evening.
Certainly so. And we talked a little bit off air, Mark, as far as she was sneaky good in her elimination. Stepped out of there 26-2, was able to get some cover, and she was closing on the end of it there. And like you said, Dexter Dunn answering any questions as far as how he feels about rebounding there. And again, Philly overcame the outside post position. Didn't seem to matter. And of course, Dexter Dunn, winner at this very same division. He goes back-to-back in the 2-year-old filly pace. So won last year with my girl, EJ. And, of course, Chris Ryder, no stranger to success. He won in 2021. So these guys, no stranger to success in this 2-year-old filly pace division.
And no stranger to success with the fillies and the mares on the pace, because tomorrow night we're going to see the #1 ranked horse in harness racing, Twin B Joe Fresh. She'll be in our main event, the Breeders' Crown Mare Pace. But for now, it's all about Mickey and Minnie. I had it written down in my notes. Pretty gritty filly.
Yeah.
And she was here tonight to win the Breeders' Crown. We'll step aside and come back with winner's circle reaction. Mickey and Minnie, a crown champion.
Reach the people you have to reach by advertising in Harness Racing Update, the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU provides the best bang for your advertising dollars because we reach and engage your potential customers anywhere in the world. Not only has HRU grown its subscriber base by nearly 30% in just 3 years, but our open and click rates far exceed industry averages, which tells us that readers are engaged with the digital publication and how they receive it. Plus, your ad support helps us keep HRU free to subscribers. Find out more today by visiting harnessracingupdate.com and clicking on the advertising link at the top of the page.
And we're bringing you back to live coverage of night 1 of the Breeders' Crown from the Meadowlands Racetrack in East Rutherford, New Jersey. 150-2. The final time is Mickey and Minnie, the daughter of Always Be Mickey, wins this Breeders' Crown 2-year-old filly pace. You put a lot of spotlight on the breeders. It is called the Breeders' Crown after all. And Always Be Mickey has now won this division 3 years in a row. So having quite the run of success in the 2-year-old filly pace. And Mickey and Minnie, you know, it's easy in hindsight to look back and go, wow, we should have probably been all over this filly. But you know, the effort we saw last week, it was tough mile that she had to go, but she fought very gamely. And the way she's been racing, just so consistent all summer long at the Red Mile. I mean, this is a filly that maybe just wasn't getting the headlines, was just kind of getting lost in the shuffle.
Agreed. And as you said, just a super, super talented filly. She's been no worse than third in 9 lifetime starts. That speaks for itself. And as you talked about breeders and Breeders' Crown, this one a homebred for her connections. They campaigned the dam of this mare, and she's the third foal. The mare's 100% producer, and she also made $268,000 during her racing career. So this one's got the pedigrees you talked about. Always Be Mickey, certainly having his way with the filly division. Seems that way as of late. But as I said, this one's got the pedigree, and of course the connections, no stranger to success. They campaigned Nikki Hill just a few years ago.
Yeah, quick correction there. 3 of the last 4 years,
Yes.
Always Be Mickey has won.
Sweet
it was
Lou last year.
Sweet Lou, who I had also written down, had some good success. Won last year and a few years back as well. So kind of a couple of stallions that have been dominating this Breeders' Crown division. And Always Be Mickey, that world champion, gets another one here, as it is Mickey and Minnie, who takes this Breeders' Crown final, sponsored by Sugar Valley Farms and Dale Valente Farms, and another big happy group in the winner's circle. And that raw emotion we saw from Chris Ryder, we don't get that every day. I'm not just saying from Chris Ryder, but just in general in the sport. You just love to see how much victories like this mean.
That's right, and that's why I love being back here, Mark. You know, you get up close and personal. Not only do we get to see these horses up close and personal as they head out onto the track, but that's what you get to see, the just raw emotion. And, of course, you work all season, and as we talk about Philly like Mickey and Minnie, who's had some success, but for her to cap it off, kind of the cherry on top, certainly, brings out the emotion, and deservedly so.
Joe McLeod of Sugar Valley Farms presenting the trophy to the winning connections of Mickey and Minnie. Let's quickly talk about second place finisher, the last Martini. I mean, we were all kind of locked on her going around the last turn as Doug McNair looked to have his hands full and might have been in a pretty tough spot there. The question was he going to get racing room? Ultimately, he does kind of late in the mile, but maybe it was just kind of fighting with her, waiting on that maybe takes a little steam out of her.
Yeah, and she looked like she got a little steppy late, whether it be tiredness, obviously, like you said, wrestling with her there for a little while can be a little tiring. So she did get a little steppy there, but valiant effort, as you said, for her to leave as she did, and then be able to withstand and still have some pace at the end of the mile. So a big effort there, though she didn't get the job done, didn't get her picture taken. A solid effort for her to finish second there.
Yeah, solid effort from this New York Sire Stakes standout who had already come into tonight's final with over $350,000 earned, and going to get another good payday here today, finishing second in the Breeders' Crown. Rodeo Drive Dale got third over the one Looks Good in Lulu. As we take a look at the prices, another good exacta, $77 there, the 9.6. Quickly touching on number one Looks Good in Lulu. Have those last couple of miles maybe caught up to her? What did you see here tonight?
Just like you said, to me, a very competitive group of fillies. I think noses separated them, and she had to work a little bit there. I thought it was interesting. Driver Yannick Chingra moves her to the lead down the backside, and it looked like she never really settled, in my opinion. Looked like she was still pretty keyed up there, and turning for home, again, just looked like she didn't have the steam that she had the previous week.
So she'll finish fourth. Again, she's had a wonderful season, but doesn't get that Breeder Crown title. And for trainer Ron Burke, probably a little bit of a disappointment. You send out three in this final. You had some really good chances. You end up third and fourth. So again, they raced well. But to your point, I think it speaks volumes to the competitiveness of this group. A lot of parity and a lot of depth. So we'll take that. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll go down to the winner's circle and catch up with the winning connections of Mickey and Minnie.
By now, you know the name Cosa-Tv, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. Cosa-Tv has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content.
Hey, I have Craig
and if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. Cosa-Tv, taking Ontario racing global.
Sealster, a name synonymous with quality. From their picturesque farm in Lucan, Ontario, Sealster Farms has been producing champions for decades. Stars like $650,000 winner Poseidon Sealster, millionaire mares Karma and Kendall Sealster, and two-time O'Brien Award-winning Stockade Sealster. Sealster is also the home of many of Canada's top stallions, like Sunshine Beach, All Bets Off, and world champion superstar Bulldog Hanover, the sport's all-time fastest performer. Find your next champion at Sealster Farms. For more information, visit sealsterfarms.com.
And we've got two in the books, still two more finals, three more races as part of our live coverage coming your way. But there's Mickey and Minnie and a little fist bump from Dexter Dunn. He's standing by in the winner's circle with Greg Blanchard.
Despite a tough post.
Yeah, I was definitely got full confidence in her. She's just got better and better as the year went on. I thought her elimination last week was really good. We had to use her extremely hard the first quarter and half. So the draw was a bit of a worry, but I was out at Chris's farm this week, and CJ doesn't usually say much, but I've never probably seen him so confident about a horse the way she was going into a big race, so that filled me with confidence.
I wanted to ask you about the elimination and the fact that, she was used hard in that race and really dug in late and was quite competitive. Did that give you an added degree of confidence? Did she show you something in that limb that maybe you hadn't quite seen to this point?
She put some great runs down at the Red Mile, and I definitely knew she could compete with those fillies. They're a great crop of fillies, but I thought she wasn't far away. Like I said, the draw was a bit of a worry, but she earned every, she worked for that the race tonight and really earned it.
And just walk us through the trip and how things went. Did it go the way you thought it would as you looked at the race prior?
Oh, yeah, I was pretty happy we left out of there a little bit. We got in the first turn. you know, there was a bit of movement. Yannick moved to the front, and you know, we were in for a little bit. We had to come out pretty early though, and she marched up there great, and it was a big run by her.
All right. Well, you've won 4 of the last 5 editions of this particular division of the Breeders' Crown. Congratulations.
I'm lucky I get to sit behind the ones I do. Thanks,
That's right. Big weekend, perhaps, just starting for Dexter Dunn. He wins our 2nd Breeders' Crown Championship tonight. Again, Mickey and Minnie, 150 and 2.
And that is the 16th Breeders' Crown title for driver Dexter Dunn. And he didn't start driving the Breeders' Crown until 2019. He's won multiple titles in every year since then. And it's just kind of the beat goes on. And again, as Greg just mentioned, this could be a huge weekend for him.
It certainly could. And as you talked about, you know, that's a great way. A bit of a question mark after that first Breeders' Crown, but he certainly put an end to that and answered any questions anyone may have as far as the weekend that he's planning to have.
So Mickey and Minnie takes the 2-year-old filly pace final. We're going to head over to the Diamond Creek Winners Lounge in just a moment, where we're going to catch up with more of the winning connections. Craig Henderson, an owner breeder on Mickey and Minnie, is standing by with Heather.
We are so excited here in the Diamond Creek Winners Lounge. Yes. So Craig Henderson, co-breeder, co-owner. Why don't we give props to your other homies that are down on the Mickey and Minnie?
I'm here with Larry Minowitz, my partner. And I want to give a big shout out to Bob Mondillo, who's in Delaware, Ohio. I can hear you screaming from Delaware, Ohio, Bob.
Now, you have owned a lot of great fillies in your life, a lot of great horses. Name some of them and tell me about tonight and what this horse means to you.
My first racehorse was put on a show. I was so lucky to own a Breeders' Crown champion. But this is extra special because we bred the horse. And she won, and she raced great, and I'm really proud of her. She's raced great. We also had Stonebridge Soul and quite a few others.
Now, Always Be Mickey obviously has had many Breeders' Crown winners now, but you actually own the mare. That's the ticket.
Yes, we own That's the Ticket. She won the 3 Diamonds, and then she got hurt, and she couldn't race anymore. She was a hell of a racehorse, but never had a chance to prove herself. But she's been a broodmare, great broodmare for us. She's had 2 other foals that each won $100,000. And I got to give big props to Chris Ryder, who said to me, don't sell this mare because she's going to produce something. And I wouldn't have maybe kept her if it weren't for Chris telling me to keep the horse.
I know that you are so excited this evening. Breeders' Crown, I mean, this is just spectacular. Can you put in words how excited you are?
Well, I'm here with my family and my wife, who doesn't understand horse racing, but I think she does now, and this is as good as it gets, Heather.
Congratulations. So happy for you.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, sending it back to you.
Heather, and I think that quote is perfect. This is as good as it gets. There's no better motion in this sport than that of victory, and that's exactly what happened for Mickey and Minnie. So 2 of our 4 finals are now in the books, and we turn the page, Emily, to the 2-year-old colt trot final. So we've seen the girls. Time for the boys, and again, another deep group.
And double-digit odds we've seen, as double-digit prices we've seen from winners. So, you know, Mark, as I'm doing some handicapping, I have to admit I'm kind of pulling an audible here, trying to find my price and maybe going in as far as the way that the trend is playing here tonight.
And the horse that everybody has their eyes on here is the number 2, Maryland, another one that got a bye automatically into the final after winning the Peter Houghton at Hoosier Park back on September 13th. I mean, this guy's had a tremendous rookie season. He won the Houghton, as mentioned. He won the William Wellwood at Woodbine Mohawk Park, and then he came back there after that trip to Hoosier to win the Mohawk Million. He's having a dominant season. He's made nearly $800,000. But again, the question mark, would you rather have seen a horse compete in the elimination and go into the final, or sit out and just race in a qualifier?
You know, it's very interesting, too. Almost the exact same trajectory as we saw with TCI last season, who, of course, won the Peter Houghton, then, of course, won the Mohawk Million. And he actually, TCI raced down to the International Stallion Stakes, finished second to Carl in the Breeders' Crown, but almost the exact same trajectory, and as we're seeing here with Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland hasn't raced, though, since the Mohawk Million back on September 21st. He did have a qualifier back on October 10th, but obviously gave him a bit of a break, just trying to have him fresh and ready for this Breeders' Crown final. He didn't have to race last Friday afternoon. The others had to find a way to get into the final here tonight. And we take a look back at the first elimination. We're watching a Moticon Legacy, who was sitting in the pocket spot, and driver Louis Waugh was just waiting on daylight. We'll send things to track announcer Ken Workington.
Shake loose here in Moticon Legacy. Block left with Trot, might try to squeeze on through. Hidalgo on the outside, relentless rally. And now here comes Emoticon Legacy. Got through and got room for Louis Wah. Emoticon Legacy at 5-2. And then it's Meshuggah, Hidalgo, and Memento Mori in 1:52-3.
So scooting through was a Emoticon Legacy up the inside to reach up and get the victory. In kind of similar fashion as we go to the second elimination, another one that was just reaching up in the shadow of the wire is Maximus Miris. Scott Zeron driving as we pick this one up on the backstretch.
Happy Jack B back in that second spot with 3/8 to go. Maximus Miris on the inside third as they continue towards 3/4. Montserrat fourth on the inside. Blank is fifth on the cones. Then comes Big Shoes and Go, Doug, Go, and Elan Hanover. They're single file 3/4. And it's Super Chapter who has them seated there. 1:24-4 into the stretch. Super Chapter in front by 2. Happy Jack S is second, and all out now, full out. Maximus Miris has to pick it up and looks to rally, darts to the outside, and Blank has late Trot on the inside. Super Chapter needs the line. Maximus Miris with a Maximus late lunge. Maximus Miris gets up over Super Chapter. Then came Blank. Then came Go Dog Go. 1:52-4.
So there was a look back at last weekend's eliminations. By winning your elimination, you guaranteed yourself a pretty good starting spot, somewhere from post 1 through 6. And then as well, that was the same for Maryland, who had the automatic entry by winning the Peter Houghton. So those are 3 of your top contenders, and right now at 4-5 is Maryland. No surprise here, but again, with the way we've seen things go so far, Emily, I think you have to take a second moment to reconsider.
Very much so. And Team Melander sending out 4, taking a look here at, as you talked about, Maryland. One of his stablemates, that's Meshuggah, 2-year-old colt by Green Shoe, who we just talked about. James McDonald picks up the call after Scott Zeron opting to stick with Maximus Miris, another Breeders' Crown elimination winner.
Yeah, so maybe James McDonald can make a little more magic as he got called in to drive the winner, Lady Landia, in our first Breeders' Crown race. Now picks up the drive on the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes champion, Meshuggah, who's been very competitive all season long. This horse just consistent efforts week in and week out. 2 trips to the winner's circle from 9 starts, but has come through in big moments, and that's what you look for sometimes, those horses that can find success when the big money is on the line. Another horse we're going to keep our eye on is the number 10, Memento Mori, who set a world record just 2 starts back, 151 and 4th, the Red Mile, winning a division of the International Stallion Stakes. This one goes for the fractional ownership group, the stable.ca. Jason McGinnis trains, Anthony McDonald drives, and Anthony is in the paddock with Mike.
Thanks so much, guys. We're here with Anthony McDonald. Anthony, it's hard to believe a horse that just set a world record 2 starts ago is 55-1 on the board. Obviously, post 10 is going to make things a little bit difficult, but we've seen several long shots win tonight.
Yeah, listen, I wish there was 4 more coming out behind me, but whatever, it is what it is. You know, we get the 10 hole. You're just going to have to race the race. It's the way it is. The draw's over now, and now you got to go out and race against 9 other people. It's not going to be easy, but let's race it.
Now, Anthony, you run the stable.ca. What does this mean to all of the owners just to be able to participate in this race?
It's huge. You know, it's not just the owners. I hope the industry understands exactly how important fractional ownership is to our industry moving forward. You know, the people that are up there tonight cheering for this horse that own 1% or 2%, they never would have been able to own a horse otherwise. And to be able to be a part of something like this, something that we who've been in the industry forever strive to do, it's tremendous. And I wish them all the luck and hope that things work out for all of them because, you know, they deserve it.
Anthony, good luck.
Thanks very much.
Guys, back to you.
All right, always good to hear from Anthony McDonald as he'll steer Memento Mori from post position number 10. And there's all kinds of people over in that grandstand as part of the stable.ca, those fractional owners that are in the house. Had a gentleman come up to me earlier tonight. I've got to meet a lot of those folks over the years, but another one who wasn't going to miss this to see a horse that he owned a piece of race in the Breeders' Crown. And that's kind of what it's all about, just getting to a spot like this.
That's exactly right. And Anthony said it on behalf of all of us in the industry. It is exactly what it's all about. And, it's just, you talk about storylines and things like that. Certainly a storyline there with the stable racing in the Breeders' Crown.
All right, so here's the field for the Breeders' Crown 2-year-old colt and gelding trot final. The number 1, Meshuggah. Yes, that's James McDonald. He's wearing the colors of Courant for trainer Marcus Melander. The Pennsylvania Sire Stakes champion, as mentioned, was second last week in his elimination.
The two, his stablemate from Team Melander, that's Maryland. He, of course, as we talked about, was the Peter Houghton winner. So he opted for a bye, did not race in an elimination, but he opted for a qualifier. He's won 4 of 7, a 2-year-old colt by Chapter 7. Dexter Dunn in the bike, and he's bred by Hanover Shoe Farms.
There's the 3 Maximus Miras, an elimination winner. Just 5 starts, but it's got 4 wins. Strong performance, 152-4 last week. It's Scott Zeron driving for Lucas Wallen.
We were just looking at the 4 Emoticon Legacy. This is a 2-year-old colt by Wallner for trainer Luke Blay. Louis Waugh in the sulky. An elimination winner we saw earlier. He's won 4 of 6. He, of course, has got the pedigree behind him. His mom, a Breeders' Crown champion, 2-time Breeders' Crown champion.
5 Hidalgo, that's another one for trainer Ron Burke, 3rd in his elimination last week. Yannick Gingras is going to reunite with this fella. He's driven him quite a bit throughout the season. 3 wins from 10 starts, 8 times in the top 3.
There's a look at the 6 Super Chapter, a $300,000 yearling purchase for trainer Marcus Melander. Is a 2-year-old colt by Chapter 7, who has won 5 of 9, finished 2nd in his elimination after doing all the heavy lifting. Driver David Miller picks up the call.
Number 7 is Go Dog Go. We heard from trainer Carter Pinsky earlier in the evening. Todd McCarthy drives this son of Greenshoe, who is a 2-time winner. Kind of getting things back on track. He was making some late breaks in races at the Red Mile. Good effort last week to get into the final, rallying for 4th.
Speaking of good effort, we were just looking at the 8 Blank, a solid effort from this colt, who rounds out the Team Melander contingent in this race. It's a 2-year-old colt by Jim Panzi, who finished 3rd in his elimination. Andy McCarthy back aboard for the second consecutive time. Horse is looking for his 3rd lifetime victory.
The number 9 Tactical Dynasty was just on your screen a moment ago. Tim Teacher's going to pick up the drive on the Ron Burke trainee as Yannick Gingras will go with Hidalgo. Tactical Dynasty, disappointing 5th last week as the race favorite, but has had a real good season. He's made over $125,000, a 3-time winner.
We spoke to driver Anthony McDonald a little earlier. He's sending out Memento Mori, or will sit behind Memento Mori, for trainer Jason McGinnis, a 2-year-old gelding by Chapter 7 for the stable Memento Mori, and Hutchison Harness LLC from Ohio. The colt was bred by Nuts and Trotting.
So there is the field of 10 for the 2-year-old colt and gelding trot. Breeders' Crown Final. Again, the purse is $700,000. There's a look at Maryland. He's a stunning horse out on the racetrack. A real powerhouse, this son of Chapter 7. And Chapter 7, his sons and daughters just continue to rack up big victories. Again, the question mark, though, is the time off. I know they got a qualifier under his belt back on October 10th, but that's actually a couple weeks back. Champagne Problems, who we saw in the 2-year-old filly trot final in the same situation, qualified last week. So maybe by design to take that week off between the qualifier and tonight's final.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, too, Mark, the qualifier almost was a little bit more of a question mark for me as he finished 2nd. Obviously, they didn't press the horse and, race him conservatively in a qualifier, but, just nothing really to, obviously, if it's a training mile, but I would have thought that he would have stepped forward and won that. But like you said, it does come off a little bit of time off. And talk about the physicality of this horse. Watch this horse up close and personal at Hoosier Park, and like you said, an absolute specimen of a horse. He just gives that kind of presence of a good horse. And the way that he won at Hoosier Park, you don't oftentimes see horses, especially young trotters, win going away in a long quarter-mile stretch like you do at Hoosier Park, and that's exactly what the horse did. Looked like he finished up stronger as the stretch was getting longer. So that certainly impressed me. And then, of course, Mohawk Million, an open length winner as well.
Yeah, just crushed in that event. So Maryland, the talk of the tote board, even money right now, one of several going forward for trainer Marcus Melander. He'll have to have eyes all over the screen here when they go behind the gate. And right now, he is in the paddock with Mike Carter.
Thanks so much, guys. We're here with trainer Marcus Melander. And before we get to this race, Marcus, tell us a little bit about Luna Lovegood. You've had a chance to kind of take a look at her. How is she?
She's good. She raced great after the break there, but she got a little pacey there in the first turn. He had to grab her a little bit when those outside horses came, and she just rolled over. So, it's 2-year-olds, something like that can happen. So just get on to the next one.
Now you've got the Mohawk Million champion here. You've accepted a bye coming into this race and qualified very well in preparation. What kind of went into that decision, and how has he been training coming into the race?
Yeah, he's been training great. Qualified 2 weeks back there. So he wasn't, since he had the bye, he wasn't eligible to even race in the elimination. So he felt good, and Dexter was happy with him in the qualifier there, and he's been feeling good at home. So yeah, I mean, it's a tough race. He's one of them that can win this race. So hopefully we'll have some luck.
Talk about a horse that's been kind of coming into his own form here lately is Super Chapter. He'll lead for post number 6, was second, just beat ahead last week, but he raced very well in the lead.
He did, I think, don't forget about him. He's a very fast horse, and Dexter obviously picked Maryland, and I think it was a very hard decision for him. So, I think I couldn't pick a horse, but in between those two. So, I think we'll see tonight who's the better one.
Now, last week, the lead was really good. I think we all saw that. So the fact that Blank was able to make up as much ground as he did is really impressive. Tell us how he's been training coming into the week, and post-8 is going to be a little bit tough, obviously.
It is. He raced really good last week, so he closed super good. So hopefully he'll have some luck. He'll close again.
Marcus, good luck.
Thanks, bud.
Guys, back to you.
Good comments there from Marcus Melander. Again, he's busy in this race, sending out several starters, including the favorite Maryland. And as he pointed out, don't sleep on Super Chapter, even though that one just got picked off last week, has been racing really well. Another tough decision for Dexter Dunn. This one, I think, was pretty clear that he would stick with Maryland, who probably is the favorite right now for the divisional honors, but gives a real nice drive over to David Miller, and the Hall of Famer knows what to do with opportunities like this.
Yeah, and I thought it was quite interesting, Marcus saying he wouldn't want to have to make that decision. Now, the trainer who trains these horses day in and day out, unable to separate the two. And as he said, the gloves kind of coming off between the two stablemates and letting them decide who the better horse is on the track. But of course, a number of others of those going to try to give them a run for their money. Interestingly enough, Mark, the betting board, heavily favoritism on the 2, Maryland, no surprises there. But the 3 and the 4 getting a little bit of love as well. Emoticon Legacy looking to score his 5th win in just 7 lifetime starts.
And he got a real nice trip last week, just was waiting on daylight and shot through to get the victory. Of course, Emoticon Legacy, that son of Wallner, is out of the 2-time Breeders' Crown champion, Emoticon Hanover. So some good bloodlines here, trying to get another crown title for Determination and trainer Luke Blake. Can Maryland keep it rolling? We're about to find out. The gate's in motion. We'll send things up to Ken.
Even money on 2, Maryland. At 7-2, the 6 Super Chapter. 5-1 on the 4, Emoticon Legacy, and the 7 Go Dog Go at 5-1. On gate race 8, here they come. Two-year-olds off and trotting in the Breeders' Crown. Meshuggah made a break on the rail. Meshuggah's off stride. Maximus Mirus in Maryland. Leaving sharply was Emoticon Legacy on the outside. Here comes Super Chapter up into 4th position in that first turn. Hidalgo is 5th by about 2 lengths. Then it's Go Dog Go, followed by Blank. Blank is followed by Tactical Dynasty, Memento Mori, and the early breaker, Meshuggah. 2 wide for the opening quarter. Here comes Super Chapter and Dave Miller to take over, 27-3. Super Chapter sails to the front across the backstretch. Maximus Mirus pockets up for now, and anxious Emoticon Legacy tips to the outside. Louis Wah makes his move for the lead. Maryland looks to track him with Dexter Dunn from 4th, the gap of 2 lengths to Hidalgo to the outside. Go Dog Go underway. Then comes Blank in a gap of 2 lengths to Tactical Dynasty and Memento Mori and Meshuggah. The half up in a rated 56 seconds, but now it's Maryland on the outside, takes the lead. Maryland and Go Dog Go applies immediate pressure with 3/8 to go. Emoticon Legacy already back to 3rd on the inside as they continue towards 3/4. That's Blank up 2nd over, setting up his rally. Super Chapter was shuffled to 5th on the inside. Hidalgo ranges up 3rd over on the outside. They're stride for stride. It's Maryland and Go Dog Go. Upset-minded Maryland digs in. 124-3 in the stretch of the Breeders' Crown. And Go Dog Go on the outside. Maryland digs in. These two slug it out. Emoticon Legacy in heavy traffic. On the inside, Maximus Mirus is closing hard in deep stretch. Maryland needs the line. Maryland and Dexter Dunn. Maryland. And then Maximus Mirus and Go Dog Go. And Blank close there with Super Chapter. and Emoticon Legacy 151-4.
51-4 for Maryland. Ties the stakes record set last year by Carl, and he had to earn that one under pressure from Go Dog Go. Got to the lead, never really got a breather once up top, and really guts this one out.
We talk about it all comes down to the crown and, cementing your legacy. And that's exactly what he did. He had to work for that. Was not handed to him, as you said, never an easy moment. And I have to give trainer Marcus Melander credit. He keeps his cool a lot better than I would.
Yeah, well, he's taken off there now. I think he's going to get away from our man Mike Carter, so we'll have to hear from him in the winner's circle. But he'll be... Maybe don't see it there, but I know he's smiling on the inside as Maryland gets the victory. Dexter Dunn goes back-to-back. It's a big mile of 151-4, and for all of his accomplishments this season, that's a new career best, beating his previous mark of 152-3. Go Dog Go really came up with a good effort here. I mean, it wasn't an easy trip, and it was a slugfest down the lane. Too bad this one's going to end up actually slotting in third, as Maximus Ramirez was flying up the inside, and with about 16 to go there, I thought maybe he's going to make this real close.
I did too. I thought he had the momentum. As you said, Dexter looks like he was going to work pretty good on Maryland, and looked like Scotty Z had the momentum up the inside, but Maryland doing what Breeders' Crown champions do, digging down deep to get the victory. And as we said, hats off to the connections here. The horse has certainly stamped himself with divisional honors.
How about number 8, Blank? Last week was over 100-1 and got a third place finish to make the final.
I'm actually really glad he did not hit the trifecta because I hit you as they were coming down the lane. I loved this horse after the elimination. Absolutely impressed me. He's just one of those horses I think that's flown under the radar, and I have to say I'm pretty glad he didn't hit the board because I didn't get my bet in. And 65-1, another one that I think we'll be talking about in races to come.
Yeah, just overshadowed by the stablemates, right? Another Melander trainee. This time, though, it is the big dog. His name is Maryland, and he has won the Breeders' Crown. O'Brien Award Breeder of the Year, Tara Hills, is home to harness racing's most exciting young stallions. Green Manalishi's first crop has taken Ontario and the Grand Circuit by storm. It includes Peaceful Way winner Mona Lishi with the World Champion Cattle Wash has seen multiple New Jersey Sire Stake winners from his first crop, including final winning filly Reckless Abandon. His 2024 yearlings are eligible to the Ontario Sire Stakes. Don't miss your chance to buy one of their sons or daughters this fall. For more, visit terrahills.com. Welcome back to Cosa-TV's live coverage of the Breeders' Crown, night 1 of the 2024 showcase. We've got 3 finals down, 1 still to go, but right now we're taking a look at Maryland, who's returning to the winner's circle. And with the victory here tonight, pretty much just wraps up what I think we already knew, that he'll be a divisional champion. He's had a wonderful season with victories in the Wellwood, the Houghton, the Mohawk Million, and now the Breeders' Crown. The time off, I know maybe we had a little concern in the qualifier as well. Marcus Melander, in his pre-race comments, though, he wasn't worried. I think he just thought, I've got a good horse and I've got a couple others as well. He's just loaded, as we've seen year in and year out. He's got several good contenders in these trotting divisions.
And then, like we said, iron sharpens iron, and these horses training with one another and week in and week out, as you said, and obviously a little different trajectory for each one of them. But that's the thing about a trainer like Marcus Melander. He knows each horse individually and maybe what works best for them. And obviously, he knew what he had in Maryland and opted for that time off. Interestingly enough, I think inside post draw he drew well. And whatever question marks, he certainly answered those for his connections here tonight.
With the victory here, Maryland's going to go over $1 million in seasonal earnings. It's pretty rare in these days to see a 2-year-old make over $1 million. TCI did it last year and had one of the best 2-year-old seasons ever. If Maryland keeps racing, I don't know what their plans are, if they go to the Valley Victory or not, but you never know. He could push what TCI did last year. I think he made $1.2 million. So this is just an incredible season for Maryland, winning these rich events, and some happy connections out there once again. And this time, Emily, the favorite, finally delivers.
That's right. We set up here and have talked about prices, and the favorite does deliver, as does Dexter Dunn. 2 Breeders' Crown champions on the night for him. As we talked about, Maximus Miras, solid effort. Similar story for Go Dog Go. We mentioned it briefly, Mark. The horse the first up and still kept swinging on a horse like Maryland, and he certainly earned his third place finish there. I have to believe that his connections were very relieved that he stayed on stride tonight.
I would think the connections of Maximus Miras are pretty happy with his effort as he finished a close runner-up, and driver Scott Zeron is standing by.
Thanks so much, Mark. We're here with driver Scott Zeron, and let's talk a little bit about Maximus Miras. They're the heart of a champion. He really battled on strongly, and you and Lucas had that kind of hug there out on the racetrack. Big effort.
Yeah, I've honestly never been interviewed after a loss. You get some real emotions because that sucked. I mean, it was second and everybody saw how great he raced, but it sucks to lose.
I know you got to be looking forward to next year's Hambletonian. You won this year's Hambletonian. You're looking to, you won last year's Hambletonian. Now you're looking ahead to next year's, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And he's a top contender. He's been managed to be lightly started this year and to finish the year off strong like that. Whether or not he carries on, I don't know, but I'm excited for him next year.
Nice job, Scotty.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, yeah, some real emotion there. It does suck, even though the horse raced awesome, and I'm sure tomorrow when you wake up, you can look back and go, hey, that was a great effort, and when you get that check as well, that's pretty good, but to have that horse peaking for that big effort here tonight and come up just short, yeah, it's a little disappointing.
It certainly is, and you talk about the horses, and that's what I love about this. Everyone patting the horse, patting Maryland, and Scotty Zeron, of course, giving credit to his horse as well and the effort that he did. Didn't get his picture taken tonight, but of course, giving all the credit to the horse, which of course is where it needs to be.
So there's a look at Maryland exiting the winner's circle, and we'll head back. A Breeders' Crown champion, again, ties the stakes record. So in back-to-back years, we've seen a mile of 151 and 4. Of course, Carl won the Breeders' Crown last year at Hoosier Park, then came back and won the Hambletonian. Unfortunate news, scratched out of tomorrow night's 3-year-old colt trot final, and it looks like his racing days are going to come to an end. But there's a horse that accomplished quite a bit in just 2 seasons on the track.
Very much so, as you said, and talking about the Breeders' Crown and what a win in this division does, and like you said, the trajectory that we saw from Carl, the way that he cemented his legacy as far as his racing career is concerned. I think much the same here for Maryland, and just talking about the horse, Mark, look at him. He kind of looks like he knows that he did well. Love to see him standing in the winner's circle, everyone walking up and patting him, and good horses do what good horses do, and that's exactly how he acts there tonight.
He is basking in the glory, no doubt about it. Congratulations to Maryland, who wins the Breeders' Crown 2-year-old colt trot final. That race sponsored by Brittany Farms. We'll be going down to the winner's circle in just a moment. We'll get to hear from Dexter Dunn once again, and it just makes you wonder if Luna Lovegood hadn't have made that break in our first Breeders' Crown race here tonight. Maybe he's already won 3, but there you go. Once again, as I've said, since 2019, every year he's had multiple Breeders' Crown victories, and ho-hum, he's got another 2 already.
That's right. Just another night at the office for Dexter Dunn. And like you said, certainly plenty of racing left to go forward and all the momentum there. And you talk a little bit about that, Scott Zeron, saying that it sucks to finish second, but what it does for your confidence. And I think Dexter Dunn spoke on that a little bit, talking about Mickey and Minnie when the trainers have confidence. And, of course, you get a win like that under your belt. It just, like I said, steamrolls into success, and that's what we're seeing with Dexter Dunn.
When we get to our final Breeders' Crown race tonight, that's the 2-year-old colt pace. Again, Dexter Dunn had a tough choice to make. He won both eliminations with Captain Optimistic and Swingtown. He takes Captain Optimistic, so he is loaded, as we said, coming in to this weekend, and he is delivering. I think we've got Dexter standing by in the winner's circle. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll go to that post-race interview. You're watching the 2024 Breeders' Crown on Cosa-Tv.
By now, you know the name Cosa-Tv, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. Cosa-Tv has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. Cosa-Tv, taking Ontario racing global.
$1 million in a pari-mutuel race. That's a month ago. Don't you need conditioning for a horse like this at this time of year?
Yeah, that might be the only concern, especially after the elimination last week when these elimination win in 52. You know, I know it was going to be hard, but you know, he's such an honest horse. You know, I could feel in the warm-up today that he was in still in good form. So he's fresh and sound, and you know, it's just an amazing horse.
So you're happy with the trip down the backside. Somebody carries you to the front. You're racing on the front end, and then all of a sudden, here comes Todd McCarthy alongside, puts a head in front. It looks like you're beat. Did you think the race was over?
No, not really. You know, he made one break here at Meadowlands in his second lifetime start when he took a bad step there in the last turn. So I think just Dexter took a little bit took care of him there in the last turn, and then I know he knows where the finish line is. So if he's, you know, if he still have some power left, he'll give it all.
Is he the kind of horse where the other horse came alongside him and he digs in, or does the conductor have to tell him, hey, we got to go?
Yeah, I mean, he got the cheek rolls on him, so he doesn't really see them, you know, if they come too far back. But as soon as he sees someone, you know, from the side of him, he knows how to fight him off. So and he did that tonight.
Already thinking about the Hambletonian 2025?
That's a long road ahead, but you know, we got one more race to go here in the kindergarten final in 2 weeks, and then we should call it a year.
2-year-old colt and gelding Breeders' Crown Final goes to Maryland and trainer Marcus Melander. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, good to hear from Marcus Melander there, and kind of answering a question I had. Not the Valley Victory on his radar. Instead, it's going to be the Kindergarten. That goes for a couple $100,000. We're going to have a Kindergarten Series division coming up, our next race of our live coverage here tonight from the Meadowlands. But once again, it's time to go to the Diamond Creek Winners Lounge. Here's Heather Vitale.
Hey guys, I am with co-owner Anders Strom, and first of all, let's start out by saying Breeders' Crown is always a family affair. Anders, who do you have with you tonight?
Yeah, it's my son Riegel, and it's actually his first time at the Meadowlands, so yeah, talk about first time lucky.
I love it. Did you love this race or what?
I guess.
I get I have two boys, so I get that. I get, you know, boys are like, you know, one of those things like, you're like, how is your day? Everything's great. I love you. And they're like, okay.
But, you know, wait till I show you. I filmed him secretly on the stretch, and he was more excited than that in the last eighth.
I'm sure he was. Let's talk about your co-owners. I always love to give props to them because you do not own this horse by yourself.
No, we bought him first at Lexington, and I wanted to ask Marcus, of course, since it was the horse of the sale. But then I thought it would be a good opportunity also to ask Steve and Cindy and a couple of more owners I really like, and my fellow Sala people, and that's the town we grew up in, and also, of course, Peter Weisberg, who is the vice president for Courant Inc. Yeah, they said yes, so now we own 50 and they own 10% each, and that's a great team, and it has shown to be very lucky with this horse.
You know, it's one of those things, here it is toward the end of the year, and to keep a horse, no matter what age they are, strong at this time of the year is so important, and winning a Breeders' Crown, I mean, here we are, like, wow.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We won 3 Breeders' Crown with Jim Pansy, and I sense there is something similar with this one, that he can go on from here. And I would also like to give huge credit to the Melander stable and Marcus, and also to Dexter for taking care of this horse so good. You could see that the strategy of doing a easy qualifier before this was good, and also Dexter handled him very good in the actual race with a very, very tough midsection, and then to keep him going all the way into the finish line. I'm almost shaking about that stretch. So it's great feeling.
I love it. I love it. Oh, Regal, by the way, you are obligated to come to every Breeders' Crown from here on out. You realize that, right?
Oh, okay.
Boys, all right. Thank you, Anders. Congratulations.
Yeah, and thank you, and thank everyone in Breeders' Crown. It's a fantastic race meeting to come to, and I hope to come here many times again.
Same here. Oh, thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Heather. And I knew we'd get a smile at a Regal before the end of that interview there. Good to hear from Anders Strom as Maryland has won the Breeders' Crown, and he gave a big shout out to the whole Melander stable. That's their 5th Breeders' Crown title. They'd had 4 coming into this year. 3 of them were with Jim Panzee, as Anders mentioned, and he's got some big hopes for Maryland, thinking he could become a 2-time, maybe 3-time Breeders' Crown champion. The sky is the limit for that standout trotter. We've got some bonus race coverage coming your way here tonight on Cosa-Tv. We're going to take a break from the Breeders' Crown. We got one more final to go. That's coming up in race number 10, but race 9 here is the Kindergarten Series, 2-year-old fillies. This is the 4th leg of this series that goes throughout the course of the summer months into the fall. It's going to wrap up in a couple of weeks with the finals, and here we've got this 4th leg. It's 2-year-old trotting fillies, and right away what I notice, Emily, is that we've got a couple horses that raced in last week's Breeders' Crown elimination. So almost like a consolation, didn't get a chance to go into the big dance, but still here participating tonight and trying to pick up some points for the Rich Final coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and we saw a filly a little earlier on in the card didn't make the Breeders' Crown Voguish. She didn't make the 2-year-old filly Trot final, but she was a winner. She finished 5th in her elimination. She was a winner in a similar series earlier on in the card. So as you said, these fillies maybe didn't make the Breeders' Crown final, but they're trying to get another win under their belt here. Competitive group. Right now we got 8-5 favoritism on the 3. My Sweet Lily from Team Tactor, and a guy you might have heard of, Mark, by the name of Dexter Dunn.
Yes, yeah. If you haven't heard his name already, you must just be under a rock, or you got some earplugs in, because he has been dominating here tonight. He's got back-to-back Breeders' Crown titles. He's going to drive number 3, My Sweet Lily, who last week was involved in just some wild fractions in her Breeders' Crown elimination, and it was understandable that she just tired in the lane and kind of came to a walk, coming home in 30-3, but obviously came out of the race just fine, because they come right back here 7 days later, set to race once again.
Right. As you said, just hard to withstand that. And she faces some softer company, which I think will certainly be welcome, but a very speedy filly, 51-2, Mark, for this Sweet Lou filly.
All right, so the horses are coming on to the track again. We're taking a break from the Breeders' Crown. This is the Kindergarten Series for 2-year-old pacing fillies. 4th leg of the series, $20,000 is the purse. Here's number 1. She's a streaker. Yannick Gingras driving for trainer Ron Burke. 5th last time out in the International Stallion Stakes. Prior to that was 3rd in the Bluegrass. So after a visit down to Kentucky, back here in New Jersey, she raced in the New York Sire Stakes for a good chunk of the season. Winless, though, in 8 tries. We'll try and break her maiden here tonight, currently 9-2.
Here's a look at the 2. Trainer Linda Toscano sends out this 2-year-old filly by Lazarus. Joe Bongiorno gets the call. He has been the pilot behind this filly for her last number of starts. She's looking for a 3rd win on the season. Connections we talked to a little earlier, Steve Stewart, Robinson, and Mondillo from Ohio. Filly, again, is looking for a 3rd win on the season.
Number 3, My Sweet Lily. Again, she got tired after getting hard used in that Breeders' Crown elimination. They were hoping to be in that big dance. They've already raced in events like the She's a Great Lady. 2 wins from 6 starts and a mark of 151-2. It's Dunn and Tactor teaming up.
There's the 4, Simply Perfect. Driver Todd McCarthy for trainer Tony Alanya. 2-year-old filly by Captain Treacherous, bred by Hanover Shoe Farms. She finished a winner in her last out here at the Meadowlands, 51-2. Last quarter in 26-4. That was a new lifetime best. It was a qualifying effort taken last week, but lifetime best for this filly, who has been on the board in 4 of 7.
I think we're going to now go on to number 6. So we'll come back to the 5 in just a moment, but there's the 6, Chakra.
No, we won't, because she's scratched.
Oh. There you go. That's why. That is why. Our producer, Luke
we will
Van
not
Belkom,
come back to her.
I think that's why. Obviously, we had our focus on the Breeders' Crown, but we're getting back to this kind of racing. So the 6th there, we saw Chakra, a Tony Alanya trainee, 9th last time out. That was in the Breeders' Crown elimination. Should like this group a lot better. I'll go to the 7 here now. You'll find out. That is a Nick Drennan trainee that David Miller will drive, and this is just going to be her 2nd start. So we'll keep our eye on this one, maybe a budding star. And there's the final horse we'll meet.
That's the 8 Beach Rules. Another from the Linda Toscano barn, 2-year-old filly by Sweet Lou. Scott Zeron in the bike. She's won 3 of 7, finished 4th at the Meadows in her last out. And as I said, she's got a mark of 150-3, looking for a 4th win on the season.
Okay, so there's 7 horses. We've now figured that out. There's 7 2-year-old pacing fillies to line up here in the Kindergarten Series. The reason we didn't see the 5, she's not in the field, and would have been some stiff company for her. She was going to be coming in from the Ohio Sire Stakes, and you have to tackle a couple of horses coming out of the Breeders' Crown eliminations. Right now, 2-1, slight favorite favorite is number 3, My Sweet Lily, who's a daughter of Sweet Lou. Again, a 2-time winner from 6 starts. Those victories here at the Meadowlands. She picked up a score in the New Jersey Classic Final, which went for $150,000. And after that, I mean, you look at where they thought that she'd be heading. They put her in some big Grand Circuit events. So still some high hopes for My Sweet Lily.
Thanks so much, guys. We're in the paddock with driver Ronnie Wren Jr. Earlier, you won your first career win at the Meadowlands in your 3rd try. This is your 3rd Breeders' Crown. You're going to try to do it with Lou Print. What did it mean to win here at the Meadowlands?
Oh, it'd mean everything. You know, my oldest boy is here tonight, my father-in-law. Just to get an opportunity to drive a nice horse. Like, I love the horse. He's done everything right. You know, I just want to thank Ronnie Burke and the rest of the Burke Brigade for giving me a shot to drive him, but he's definitely got a shot.
Now, he just missed in the International Stallion Series, but last week he had a lot of ground to make up. It was elimination. You want to have a little bit left for this week, obviously, and Post 9 is going to make things a little bit difficult, but clearly he's got a lot of heart.
Yeah, you know, it's 10 very good horses, very good drivers. 9 holes, not a great spot, but I'm confident in my horse, and he raced great last week. He was closing in on the horse's side of track record, so we'll see.
Now, obviously, we're both from Ohio. We're both from Northfield Park. What would it mean to you to win a Breeders' Crown here this evening?
It'd be awesome. I mean, just being here is a dream come true. So, like I said, I'm confident in my horse. Hopefully, he races well, and I get him in a good spot to finish up.
Ronnie, good luck.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Mike, and good to hear there from Ronnie Wren Jr. You know, you talk about opportunities and trying to make the most of them. I mean, this guy, all he does is win races. It's what he's done since he got into the driving game. Gets it, honestly, of course, through his family as well. But to be on this stage, the Breeders' Crown, doesn't matter if it's here at the Meadowlands, Hoosier Park, Mohawk, to get here on a night like tonight, you're under the brightest lights. Everybody is watching, and I think it's safe to say he's kind of soaking up that moment.
Yes, exactly. As you said, and interestingly enough, got his first win over the Meadowlands surface. And actually, you talked about him winning races. I said to you, is that right? Is that correct? It is his first win. Hard for me to believe because, as you said, the guy just all he does is win races. And as you said, he's got the pedigree. We so much sit up here and talk about the Breeders' Crown and the horses and the pedigree. That guy certainly has the pedigree to go on to be a great driver as well, and have enjoyed watching his trajectory to success to this point.
Yeah, Ronnie had his 8,000th win back in April. Again, it's just a remarkable the numbers he racks up, racing a good chunk there, of course, in Ohio. One of 9 drivers in racing history to have won more than 800 races in a year. And I think that's a special talent, and those are numbers that should be recognized. I know a lot of the times we kind of get focused on the Grand Circuit and the guys that are winning, the prestigious, the marquee races, but the work that he puts in, the grind, the double headers, the sport doesn't go on unless you have racing like that.
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, the week in, week out, night in, night out. And to show up and, do what you do on a nightly basis 14 times, as you said, sometimes a doubleheader type of night. And the thing I also find so interesting about Ronnie, he's not afraid to, follow a horse, drive somewhere. We've seen him at Hoosier Park. We've seen him in Ohio, as you said, Lexington, and now out here as well. And he's always gracious and always looking forward to the next opportunity.
And I know we'll talk about that more in just a moment when we get to the 2-year-old Colt Pace final. But, Ron Burke sends out a lot of real good horses at that Grand Circuit level. But, he's stuck with Ronnie on the guy that he's driving tonight. And I think that's notable that, he has all the faith in the world in him to get the job done. A lot of the times he goes to that man that you're seeing on the screen right there, the Hall of Famer, Yannick Gingras. A lot of the times he gets the first call. Right now he's just getting something adjusted there with the number 1, She's a Streaker.
It's like an earplug going back in.
Yeah, and this is a horse that I mentioned is coming out of Grand Circuit action at the Red Mile, and had been racing for the most part of the New York Sire Stakes all season long. So it shows as that season kind of winds down, you can then dip your toes into the Grand Circuit. Some go right there from the start. Others, though, take a different path, and maybe this is one that with just a few more starts at this level, will continue to chip away and become a bit of a player.
She's exactly, like you said, she's one of those fillies that I think, as we talk about trainers and like we talked about the amount of horses that Ron Burke has, he does such a great job of putting the horses in the spots where they belong. And as you said, this filly looking for her first win, lifetime win, and looks like she's got a good shot here off the rail, as you said. Teams up with his main man, Yannick Gingras, and the filly's got the pedigree behind her as well. 70,000, but she's looking for her first win and going to try to do it here at 3-1.
I thought the 3 My Sweet Lily would likely go off as the favorite, and you
Interesting
never know.
that we're seeing the 8 heavily favored here. I'm with you. I was on the 3 My Sweet Lily. I think it is her race to lose for Team Tactor, and interesting wagering.
Yeah, so Beach Rules is the current favorite as the gate's in motion with the call, Ken
7.
Workington.
Scratch 5. See her rule lane. Here they come. And they're off. Chakra from the outside, and Simply Perfect shoots out and goes for the lead. She's a streaker from the inside with early speed. Bequeath cuts the corner into 4th, and My Sweet Lily is 5th in that 2-path there. Swings in over to the cones just in front of You'll Find Out. And the early trailer is Beach Rules. We'll have to pass them all tonight. Here comes Chakra on the outside, up to challenge Simply Perfect for the lead off a quarter of 28-1. So it's Chakra on the outside, and Anibal Boras takes the lead with that one. Chakra to the front. Simply Perfect is now 2nd. She's a streaker tracking 3rd, and Bequeath is 4th, and My Sweet Lily is 5th by 2, followed by You'll Find Out. Beach Rules still at the back at 4-5. Single file, no right lines at the half. It's Chakra. A long shot here, 25-1 on the board, leads the way. Simply Perfect in for that perfect 2-hole ride, 56 for the half, 27-4 second quarter speed. She's a streaker tracking 3rd, and they move on to the far turn with Bequeath 4th. My Sweet Lily is 5th, and then it's You'll Find Out, and Beach Rules continues to trail. No movement here with about a quarter mile to go. They approach 3/4, and it's Chakra looking for a wire-to-wire upset. Deuce popping now, Simply Perfect and Todd McCarthy. And right there, she's a streaker gearing up from 3rd. Bequeath is 4th. 3/4, 1:23-2. 27-2 in that 3rd quarter. Chakra on the inside. Simply Perfect after the perfect trip. Chakra digs in, fends her off. Simply Perfect trying to pour it on, and she's a streaker on the outside. But Chakra came to pace tonight. It's Chakra and Anibal Boras and Chakra all the way for the upset. Then she's a streaker. Simply Perfect and My Sweet Lily 150-3.
Of Chakra and Annabelle Borjas, as that one left out around the first turn. The stablemate lets her clear to the lead, and then she just goes the rest of the way. Kind of kept things rolling through the middle half, but I think we were just kind of locked on when were we going to see the favorites come into play, and ultimately we never did.
That's right. They were back there in the back, as you said, and hard to make up that kind of ground. As you're talking about, there was quite a bit of distance in between the leader and the horse in the back there. So quite a bit of distance to make up, and as you said, Chakra had the jump on him, and didn't get a chance to ask you. Lather up. Mike Carter's been talking about Ohio. That's Ohio bred, right?
Yep, that is. So there you go. There's an Ohio connection. We'll weave one in as Annabelle Boras gets his first win of the season at the Meadowlands, part of the Alanya crew, and drives this Tony Alanya trained daughter to victory 150-3. That's a sharp mile, and a horse that, like we said, you had to put your eyes on the ones that were coming out of the Breeders' Crown elimination. This one was getting no love, though.
Yeah, and you talk a little bit, we talked a little bit about Ron Burke and using Ronnie Wren, and hats off to trainer Tony Alanya. Annabelle Boras, one of his main man as far as the trainers are concerned, and he had a lot of options, a lot of guys that were sitting on the sidelines, and he opts to stick with this with Annabelle there, who has done the driving duties down in Lexington with this filly, and they brought her along. She raced in that Commonwealth, stepped up to the International Stallion Stakes, as you said, no luck in her elimination, but trainer Tony Alanya had the faith in Annabelle, and he rewarded him there with a nice effort.
Gets a nice victory here and some good momentum going into the final weeks of the Kindergarten Series. We'll step aside and come back with the winner circle and payouts as night one of the Breeders' Crown rolls on Cosa-Tv. Award Breeder of the Year, Tara Hills, is home to harness racing's most exciting young stallions. Green Manalishi's first crop has taken Ontario and the Grand Circuit by storm. It includes Peaceful Way winner Mona Lishi. World champion Cattle Wash has seen multiple New Jersey Sire Stake winners from his first crop, including final winning filly Reckless Abandon. His 2024 yearlings are eligible to the Ontario Sire Stakes. Don't miss your chance to buy one of their sons or daughters this fall. For more, visit TaraHills.com. And welcome back to Cosa-TV's live coverage of the Breeders' Crown. This is night number 1. This was the kindergarten series for 2-year-old pacing fillies that goes to the 6 Chakra, a 25-1 upset winner. And then we'll be turning the page to our final Breeders' Crown event tonight. It's a 2-year-old colt and gelding pace. That one should provide plenty of fireworks, but some good fireworks on the betting board. And if you've been playing along with our contest at contestjockey.com, well, job well done if you've nailed some of these winners. You're actually able along to track who everybody selects. And I was looking back earlier. We had plenty of winners in our first race, which was Lady Landia's upset. And a big shout out to Jeremy Brewer, who made a $988 wager. Now that turns back $13,000 plus.
I know we're talking about hypothetical wagering, but hope he jumped in and put some of his own money backed it like that as well.
That's what I was going to say. I hope he did. And then there was Mickey and Minnie in the next race. And Chris Davey came through with a $538 winner, but there was quite a few people all over Mickey and Minnie and Lady Landia as well. So that contest just continues to roll along. If you had Chakra here, we'll have those results in just a little bit. Well, again, job well done. We've still got one more race to go as part of our live coverage here tonight from the Meadowlands. We will be back tomorrow evening with full coverage of all 8 championship races. This will be the 3-year-olds and the open divisions that will be on display. As we take a look here at the prices, a $52 winner was the 6 Chakra. Want to get your thoughts looking ahead to tomorrow night, Emily. Is there one race in particular or a horse that you're most excited to see race?
That's a great question. And really...
Putting you on the spot there, I know.
You are putting me on the spot, but as I'm racking my brain as far as which ones stand out. Obviously, I think the 3-year-old trotting colts is going to be super interesting. Obviously, as we talked about, given the circumstances and things surrounding that. But I really am looking forward to the 3-year-old pacing colts. They call it the Glamour Boy division, and I think there's a lot of question marks in that division. And as we talk about the Breeders' Crown and it all coming down to the Breeders' Crown, I think when the gloves come off tomorrow, when we see the horse in the winner's circle, it's going to answer a lot of questions. So I think that is maybe a race that I'm looking forward to, just because I think it's so wide open, and really looking forward to seeing how that one shakes out.
Yeah, I think divisional honors could be on the line in that race. If Captain Albano can get the victory, I think he'll lock it up.
That's right.
Jinski probably already has it locked up back in Canada, but kind of needs that signature win here in the States. He's raced well in the Meadowlands pace. The Little Round Jug didn't go his way, but I think he's a major player tomorrow night. And Mirage Hanover, he's just been surging.
He has, yes.
A big victory in sub 147 time at the Red Mile, another big victory in the elimination. So that's going to be a real good showdown. I'm looking forward to that one as well. And as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the final race of the weekend will be the Mare Pace, and Twin B Joe Fresh, I guess she's kind of getting her flowers, getting to be the headliner tomorrow night.
Yeah, and I was actually listening to something earlier and somebody talking about, it's been a long time, and I'm sure somebody will correct me or let me know, it's been a long time since we've been talking about an aged mare at the top of the game. Sometimes that division can come up a little light and what have you. Not this year, and great to see Twin B Joe Fresh, and she certainly deserves all the hype that she's getting.
Okay, well, we're going to step aside once again, and let's join in.
We are here with Senator Damon Thayer, and you have been an advocate to have the Breeders' Crown at the Red Mile in Kentucky. So tell me about the steps that have been taken to have that happen.
Well, we would love to have the Breeders' Crown back in Kentucky at the Red Mile, where back in 1984, one of the original Breeders' Crown races was contested. So I worked with John Campbell of the Hambletonian Society, and I said, well, what's it going to take to get the Breeders' Crown to Kentucky? And he said $900,000. So that's the licensing fee for a host track to get the Breeders' Crown. And so I was able to pass legislation in Kentucky earlier this year that takes $300,000 a year off the top of the standardbred portion of the historical horse racing proceeds that go into our purse fund. And it'll build up $300,000 a year until it gets to $900,000, and it'll remain in a pot there for the host track, likely the Red Mile, to use as a licensing fee to get the Breeders' Crown to the Red Mile. And from what I understand, Red Mile and the Hambletonian Society are in discussions, preliminary discussions, to have the Breeders' Crown at the Red Mile in 2027. I don't know if I'm breaking news here on your show, and I don't know if I'm supposed to or not, but I'm not running for re-election this year, so I pretty much say whatever I want anyway. So I just broke some news on your show.
You know what? I love exclusives. Now, this is something where the governor has to sign off on, right? So, like, what are the odds on that?
Well, he's irrelevant anyway, but we have supermajorities, and the Republicans have supermajorities. He's a Democrat. If he vetoed the bill, we would override his veto, but he did sign it into law, so we don't need him anymore.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's a done deal.
So
It's the law, and the money's already accruing to get to that $900,000 mark to get the Breeders' Crown to the Red Mile.
Okay.
It's a done deal. It's a done deal for the money to be there. It's not a done deal between the Hambletonian Society and the Red Mile, but they are in preliminary discussions.
Oh my gosh, I love this so much.
Breaking news.
This is breaking news. This is an exclusive right here on this broadcast. Now,
I might get in trouble for it.
You know what? I don't care. We're good. We're good. I live and breathe this sport, okay? So why is it important to you to have a Breeders' Crown at the Red Mile?
Well, it'll have a tremendous economic impact on Kentucky and Lexington in particular, because people will come from all over the country to race their horses, and fans will come from all over the country to watch their favorite standardbreds compete in the Breeders' Crown. They'll stay in our hotels, they will eat at our restaurants, they'll rent cars, they'll fly into our airport, they'll shop, they'll buy gas. So it'll have a huge economic impact on Kentucky, and I would like to see that for Lexington. And we are on the rotation for the Breeders' Cup on the thoroughbred side. Both Churchill Downs and Keeneland are part of the regular tracks that can host the Breeders' Cup. And I think, as we like to call ourselves, the horse capital of the world, and I think if we're going to host occasionally the Thoroughbred World Championships, we should host the Standardbred World Championships. And so and the Red Mile is the oldest harness track in North America, and I think it needs to be part of the rotation. And I live 20 minutes from the Red Mile, and I go there frequently, and I think the team there deserves a shot at hosting the Breeders' Crown, and we'll be great hosts in Kentucky and in Lexington. We'll pull out the Southern hospitality.
There's no doubt about that in my mind whatsoever. I love this so much. Thank you so much. And you know what? Thank you for being here at the Meadowlands. I mean, I know you're having a great time. This has been an amazing night.
Well, I love the Meadowlands. You know, Jeff Corral, Jason Settlemore, and the team here do a great job. It is one of the most well-run racetracks, thoroughbred or standardbred, in North America. And I've been to dozens of them. And I'm an old racetrack management guy myself. This place is incredibly well run. The team here does a great job, and I'm really happy to be here tonight and tomorrow night for the Breeders' Crown. How about Maryland equaling Carl's track record? That was pretty exciting. So I'm a huge racing fan and used to work for the Breeders' Cup, and I've worked at multiple racetracks. So I'm happy to be here and supporting Jeff and Jason and their team.
I love it so much. Thank you, Senator. Thank you so much for being on our show.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Guys, back to you. Exclusive news.
Yeah, exclusive. There
I
you
think
go.
the champagne is flowing in the champagne room. You got to love it. That's what we do here on Cosa-Tv. We break news, and yeah, got to love it. Thanks for all of that, Heather. Very much so.
Yeah, again, like he said, he's not up for re-election, so he's going to let everybody
right.
know. Why not?
exactly
Break
right.
some news there. And if you were tuning in and you were listening closely, well, you got some fun nuggets that you probably didn't know. So maybe, and I know it would mean a lot to you as well to see the Breeders' Crown come to the Red Mile, and maybe in the not-so-distant future.
Right. That's right. Yes. And, you know, for all those things that Senator Thayer said, you know, life, harness racing is alive and well in the bluegrass. And it would be, you know, just a great tip of the hat to the horse racing community to have it back at the Red Mile.
We're taking a look now at the leaderboard when it comes to the contest jockey contest here tonight. And we mentioned that Jeremy Brewer hit one earlier on where he put a lot of money down to pick the winner. I believe that was with Lady Landia back in our first Breeders' Crown race. where he got back over 13,000. Well, his bankroll's now up to 14,000, and he is well ahead right now as he is pacing the way in the contest jockey standings. There's a full look at the top 10. Still a few races to go. The
trotting away because he had Ladylandia, so we'll go. He's trotting away.
Keeping me honest there. Trotting away, and the contest will actually run right through race number 12 tonight. So we've got one more race to go on our live coverage, but it'll continue there. So if you're in the hunt there, just a place in the top 10, keep at it, and hopefully you have a little bit of success and you can hit a winner. Maybe we'll get another big ticket as we get set for the Breeders' Crown 2-year-old Colt Pays Final. I'd be remiss if I didn't say, though, that earlier today it was announced that Woodbine Mohawk Park will host next year's Breeders' Crown, so looking forward to seeing it back up in the Great White North. It was last held there in 2022. Hoosier Park did a great job last year, back at the Meadowlands this year, and then to Mohawk next year. All right, time to take a look now at what we have coming up, and it is the 2-year-old Colton Gelding Pace. You talk about the 3-year-old Colton Gelding Pacers being the Glamour Boy division. Well, here are your future Glamour Boys, and this is a deep group, and Captain Optimistic, the one I'm keeping my eye on, because Dexter Dunn said, I'm going to drive you. He had a tough choice to make. This is the guy he's going to go with, and for good reason. He was great last week.
Yeah, he really was, and as you said, tough decision for Dexter Dunn. And as we talk about confidence and things like that, if a guy like him sticking with Captain Optimistic, that's enough for me as well.
All right, we'll turn things over to Ken Workington. He had the call last Friday afternoon as Captain Optimistic goes on to a 149 score.
Optimistic Railroad Station has dead aim now out of the pocket, 122 and 127 and 1 speed. Captain Optimistic diving to the inside now. Railroad Station. Blueprint needs more, so does Sippin' on Ciroc on the outside, and Pappy's Pistol on the rail. Good battle at the wire. Captain Optimistic, Railroad Station, Captain Optimistic all the way. Then Railroad Station, Blueprint, Sippin' on Ciroc and Pappy's Pistol in 149. Pappy's Rocket in
real
front.
good effort, unfortunately, for Railroad
Prince
Station
Hal
draws
Hanover
post 10 here tonight. So that was Captain Optimistic in 149, and then in the next elimination, well, it was Dexter Dunn again. This time, he was driving Swingtown for the first time as Ron Burke called his number. Now, he's not going to go with him here tonight, but again, he had a tough call to make as Swingtown, different than Captain Optimistic, as he's going to turn in a big rally.
Hal Hanover on the inside second. Fallout is inching closer first over. Tracked by Swingtown on the outside. Makes sense with no racing room. Then Banderas and Mount Elite has to pass them all as they turn for home. Pappy's Rocket drawing the crowd. 123 and 4. Into the stretch. Fallout takes the lead. But Swingtown on the outside getting to him. Fallout digging in. Swingtown and Dexter Dunn. Swingtown out sprinting. Fallout to the wire. Then it's far back to third and Makes Sense. It's Swingtown, then Fallout, and then Makes Sense. And Prince Hal Hanover, 150 and 1.
25 and 4 last quarter there for Swingtown to get the victory. Again, it was the first time Dexter Dunn had driven that rookie for Ron Burke. He elects to go with Captain Optimistic. Yannick Gingras will get called tonight. He's going to jump off the stablemate, Sippin' on Ciroc, to go with Swingtown. So some musical drivers going on there, but a couple of impressive elimination winners. In that elimination, though, Emily, we saw Swingtown kind of pace away from Fallout, who in recent weeks, since winning the Metro Pace, going down to the Red Mile and turning in some big efforts there, kind of looked like maybe he was kind of taking the ball and running with it as the division leader. Still raced well, but just shows how deep this group is.
It does, and as you said at the top of the show, the Breeders' Crown brings together these horses from all over, and that's kind of what you've seen with Team Burke here. He's had the Swingtown at the Metro and the Ohio circuit. Sippin' on Ciroc has been in Kentucky and also in Ohio as well, and similar story for Blueprint, who has been a mainstay on the Kentucky circuit for the most part, but as you said, they all convening here, and a very deep group. I would not be surprised to see any number of these horses. Actually, quite surprised to see right now as heavy favoritism. Obviously, still quite a bit of time till post time, but 9-5 on Swingtown. And I'll be honest, Mark, I just think this is a deeper group. I don't think you have to settle for a short price like 9-5.
I agree with you right there. I thought that the 5 Captain Optimistic will end up as the favorite, just because I figured the hot hand of Dexter Dunn. He's kind of showing his cards here by taking this guy over Swingtown. And there is a good look at Captain Optimistic, well-built son of Captain Treacherous for trainer Nancy Tactor. He's 6 for 8. His only losses this season came in the Metro Pace, and then also had a loss in just an overnight event as he was getting his racing career started. But, in the Metro, had to go to the front, and they went pretty good middle half, and they got a little tired late. That's where Fallout kind of had his breakout performance. He was really good in the Metro elimination, but, Fallout was a horse that in the Kentucky Sire Stakes was just kind of a notch below it, sort of seemed. Then goes to the Grand Circuit, and then all of a sudden now he's kind of the big star.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. His connections opting, as you said, he just subpar down in Lexington, and they opt to take him to the Metro. And don't want to say that he was surprised, but I think it really was kind of a breakthrough effort, as you said, and really kind of burst on the scene. And I think that's, again, what we've talked about, maybe kind of a recurring message as far as the season is concerned. Going back to Captain Optimistic, horse sets a lifetime best in his elimination. And sometimes when you talk about eliminations and then going right into the final, sometimes it's hard to see the forest from the trees. And, these seasons can be long, it can be grueling. But when you've got a horse like Captain Optimistic, or let's say Fallout, who look like they're on the upward trajectory, versus a horse like Sippin' on Sea Rock, who, of course, 48-2 early on in the season has maybe been up and down since there. I think you certainly got to pay attention to things like that, and the betting public paying attention to that as we see Captain Optimistic at 3-1.
2-1 favorite right now is number 2, Swingtown. And in just a moment, Mike Carter is going to catch up with Yannick Gingras, who is going to try and add another Breeders' Crown title to his resume, sitting behind the elimination winner, Swingtown.
Thanks so much, guys. We're with Yannick Gingras, who will drive Swingtown here this evening, coming off a big victory in the Breeders' Crown elimination. He had to close from off the pace in that effort. Gets post number 2 here. Gets another good draw this week.
Yeah, it's a good spot for him, I think. Hopefully there's some action. I'd like to be able to follow some good pace, but we'll see what happens. He seems like an Andy horse that can do whatever, but I've never driven him before, so I'll get the first feel of him now.
Now, him and Sippin' on Sea Rock have just been dominating in the state of Ohio, and they've been kind of trading punches with one another. These are some really good horses.
Yeah, they're both nice. It was a tough pick, and especially they drew right next to each other. So, for one, I drew the outside. It made it easier pick. But, Sippin' on Sea Rock can win as well. He's a really nice horse.
Good luck, Yannick.
Thank you very much.
Guys?
Thank you very much, Mike. Yes, some candid comments there from Yannick Gingras. Decides to go with the one he's never driven before.
Yeah, I thought that was
over
quite interesting.
Sippin' on Sea Rock, who he's had a lot of success with, including winning the Ohio Sire Stakes final. So Scott Zeron, the money man, now gets called upon.
Yeah, and as you said, I thought it was quite interesting that he has to go with a horse that he hasn't driven before. But, again, I think that speaks to the relationship that these guys have with the trainers, and obviously a lot of thought and a lot of decision goes into this. And certainly worth paying attention to as far as the driver selections are concerned, as we've seen Dexter choose make the right decision the last number of races.
All right, here's the post parade. You just saw number 1 Poppy's Pistol for trainer Sam DePinto. Andy Miller will drive 5th in his elim, 2 for 10 on the season.
The 2 is Swingtown, as we were talking about. 2-year-old colt by Down by the Seaside has won 6 of 9, no worse than third in 8 of his 9 lifetime starts, approaching 400,000. Bred by Steiner Stock Farm, he's owned by Burke Racing, Hatfield Stable, Knox Services, and RAS Racing.
The 3 Sippin' on Sea Rock has won 6 of 10 starts. He was second in the Kentucky Sire Stakes Championship. Then 2 starts later won the Ohio Sire Stakes Championship. 4th in his elimination, but finishing up well with a 26-2 kicker. Scott Zeron will drive for trainer Ron Burke, who shares ownership with Weaver Buscemi, RAS Racing, and Knox Services.
There's the 4 Prince Hal Hanover, owned by the Prince Hal Hanover stable. Ian Moore trains. Todd McCarthy will drive. Hanover Shoe Farms bred the colt, who of course owns the most wins in the 2-year-old pacing colt division.
5 Captain Optimistic, currently 3-1. Dexter Dunn for trainer Nancy Tactor. 3 Brother Stable, Marvin Katz and Caviart Farms own.
There's a look at the 6, Makes Sense. Robert Cleary, Andy McCarthy, 2-year-old gelding by Poppy Rob Hanover, has won 2 of 6. He's been on the board in all 6 of his starts and has a mark of 152 at Harris, Philadelphia.
Now we meet the Alanya trainee, 7 Banderas. James McDonald drives, 1 win in 8 starts. A horse, though, that Tony Alanya has gone on record saying thinks he'll take a big step forward next year. He was 5th in his elimination.
The 8 was Fallout, Tim Tetrick for Tony Alanya, another colt by Captain Treacherous out of the Well Said Mare Aria Hanover, bred by Brittany Farms, looking for his 5th win of the season.
9 is Blueprint, another one from the Burke Brigade. Ronnie Wren Jr. drives. 6 wins in 9 starts, has never been worse than 3rd, and was 3rd last week in his elimination, but was right close. Beat just a little over a length.
There's the 10 Railroad Station for trainer Ron Burke. David Miller gets the call. 2-year-old colt by Sweet Lou. Has won 3 of 10. He was bred by Eric Good. He's owned by Burke Racing, Hatfield Stables, Weaver Bursemi, and J.T. Silva, Purnell, and Libby.
All right, there is the field for the $700,000 Breeders' Crown 2-year-old colt and gelding pace. The stakes record here is 149. This is one of the oldest stakes records in the Breeders' Crown. Goes all the way back to 2011 when Sweet Lou and Dave Pallone, Ron Burke trained horse, set that mark. Kind of unheard of at the time, 149, a little over a decade ago. Now we're seeing some 2-year-olds go in 148. It is quite incredible. But here tonight, I don't think you could ask for really better conditions for late October here in New Jersey.
I agree. 100%. I've been, and I know you have too, been a part of some Breeders' Crown where we weren't as fortunate. So anytime it is dry, albeit a little chilly, but we can withstand some cold weather. And as you said, absolutely perfect conditions. And it's setting up perfectly here as far as the 2-year-old pacing colts and geldings are concerned. Pretty even, as we talked about, a pretty deep group. We're getting 2-1 right now, which is a little closer to what I thought we would see on Captain Optimistic. We're taking a look right now, Mark, at my top choice. Wanted to swing for a price and didn't go to Swingtown, but went to his stablemate, Blueprint. And I've been a big fan of this horse. And again, we talked to trainer Ron Burke, and hats off to our counterpart, Mike Carter, getting those candid comments. And Ron Burke, a big fan of this colt. And that's enough for me. If he can train a horse like Sippin' on Sea-Rock, who paced in 48 and change, and still has the confidence that he does in Blueprint, that's quite a bit for me. And actually, interestingly enough, I talked to Ron Burke back in June at Hoosier Park. We did a little segment called Breakfast with the Babies, and he talked about this horse way back in June, which was just incredible to me. He's a 2-year-old colt by Sweet Lou out of a Rockin' Image mare, which of course is Indiana. Not great on the post position draw here, but I think this is just a colt that we haven't seen the best of yet. Big fan of this horse.
There's a look at the 3, Sippin' on Sea-Rock. Just getting the reports that they're adding a gating pole here. As Scott Zeron is sitting behind Sippin' on Sea-Rock for the first time. Again, this is one that Yannick Gingras drove almost exclusively, but Scott Zeron's going to get the good opportunity to pick this one up. If you don't got one for this division, it's nice not to just get one that just squeaked into the final. You're getting a real player here. As well, I think we're just getting word that the number 2 Swingtown is also going back for an equipment repair. So the Burke Brigade kind of working overtime here, getting set for this 2-year-old colt and gelding pace final. There you see the gating pole being added on.
Yeah, and as you said, Swingtown, I thought it was interesting. It looks like he does go with his head down. And as you said, driver Yannick Gingras is hopping aboard for the first time. And he's a big, beautiful son of Down by the Seaside. Of course, both the 2 and 3, sired by Down by the Seaside. And Swingtown, one of those horses, we talked about Maryland and his physical presence. I think much the same for Swingtown. He's a tall horse. He's a big horse. Similar story here for Sippin' on Sea-Rock.
It's going to be interesting to see how this race does play out. When you look at Captain Optimistic, last week he just kind of went out to the lead and just kept on rolling. It was a gate-to-wire victory, but for the most part, he's the kind of horse that just will get away about 3rd or 4th and then quarter pole to the lead and then just try and go the distance from there, and a lot of times just overpowers his competition. Here, though, you could see some outside speed. I think the 8 fallout's got to go forward. I don't think Ronnie Wren wants to get it back too far with Blueprint. He'd like to somehow be in the mix. And another horse I'm going to keep my eye on is Prince Hal Hanover. He's the kind of horse that can get really revved up. Todd McCarthy has driven him several times here now, so he knows him well. But if I know trainer Dr. Ian Moore, they don't just come to participate. They come to be in the action, and he'll want to see this guy stepping out of there. So maybe, as Yannick Gingras mentioned, he's looking for some fireworks with Swingtown. That could be the case.
These guys are really making it interesting for us, Mark. We've got a broken head pole on the 8 fallout from the Tony Alanya barn, so we're going to make some adjustments here. And as you said, looks like they got it fixed fairly simple, which is always makes things interesting when you're going for $700,000 and your horse comes off the track. Nothing like some nerves before you go behind the gate.
This is a good group of horses, as you'd expect. It takes quite a bit to get to this point in the season to be in the Breeders' Crown. I'm looking at some of the long shots on the board right now, like number 10, Railroad Station, who I mentioned when we showed that replay package, raced really well. Just tried to come up the inside late on Captain Optimistic and was, cutting into the margin as they got to the wire, paced real strong through. And in his last 2 starts, he's just kind of gotten to tag along and hasn't really, been been hurt at all by those efforts, taking anything really out of him. It's just unfortunate that he drew the 10 hole, because I think if he draws a little better, he's definitely one you might consider to throw on the ticket.
Agreed, 100%, as you said. And with the outside post draw, I think I think he will certainly be one to mix things up. I think a similar story for the 8 Fallout. We briefly mentioned him earlier from the Tony Alagna barn, and this is a horse that I think is going to mix things up. He's one of 2 in here for trainer Tony Alagna. Of course, the 7 Banderas, a 2-year-old colt by Tall Dark Stranger, first crop sire there. Out of the great mare Reflect With Me, bred by Brittany Farms, one of 2 in here bred by Brittany Farms, and this one's got the pedigree to go behind him as well. Lightly raced, just 70,000, but Team Alagna, one of those that you always have to make serious consideration, especially with the young pacing colts.
And you mentioned Reflect With Me. She was a Breeders' Crown winner. You just kind of like seeing that come full circle when you have those Breeders' Crown winning mares, and then their foals make it to this level. It's always pretty special. So again, 149 is the stakes record here. I think they can challenge it. I think, it's not like last Friday where it's a daytime racing and under the sun. But again, with the action we anticipate, or at least we're thinking could happen up front, they should set some pretty good fractions. Driver Ron Pierce, the Hall of Famer, has the record for most wins in this division, having won it 6 times. Trainer Joe Holloway, he's won it 4 times. And last year in this race, it was a 23-1 upset by Gem Quality, who we're going to see tomorrow night in the Breeders' Crown 3-year-old colt and gelding pace. So just shows, again, doesn't necessarily go according to script, this division.
It certainly doesn't. And, if we've learned anything as far as the Breeders' Crown is concerned, they're certainly going to make things interesting. And that's what we've got here. A deep group of 10, as we talked about, 5-2 on Swingtown, which, as we talked about, not surprised to see him favored. Figured that's where he'd be. But this is a deep group. We've got co-favoritism with the 5, Captain Optimistic. Who are you going with on top here, Mark?
I went with the 5, Captain Optimistic. I know you're swinging for a little more of a price, but, just throw me on the bandwagon. It's been the Dexter Dunn show. Can he get his 3rd crown here tonight? The 2-year-old colt and gelding pacers are lined up. Here's the voice of the Meadowlands, Ken Workington.
5, Captain Optimistic. 3-1 on the 8, Fallout. On gate, race 10. Here they come. They're off. Fallout and Lou Print backed away after a brief bid there. Prince Hal Hanover from between horses. Captain Optimistic put in play. Swingtown and Pappy's Pistol on the inside, 6th into the first turn. Then comes Sippin' On Sea-Rock, followed by Make Sense at the rear of the field. And Banderas and Railroad Station trails to the opening quarter. And Lou Print and Ronnie Wren Jr. zipping up on the outside is Fallout and Tetrick. Fallout looking for the lead. Lou Print now second off a quarter of 27-1 across the backstretch. Prince Hal Hanover in 3rd position. Captain Optimistic looks at it from 4th as they continue towards the half. Swingtown is 5th. Then it's Sippin' On Sea-Rock, 6th on the outside. 7th is Make Sense, stride for stride there with Pappy's Pistol. Then it's a gap of 2 to Banderas. And underway from last is Railroad Station. Now they're chasing Fallout. 4-1 on the board. Fallout 55-2, 28-1. Fallout in front. Lou Print carving out a 2-hole ride. Onto the far turn they go. Captain Optimistic attacks first over. Tracking him is Swingtown into second over position. Prince Hal Hanover stride with him in 5th. Sippin' On Sea-Rock to the outside 6th. Makes Sense is 7th on the outside. Then it's Pappy's Pistol and Banderas and Railroad Station. They're at 3/4. And it's Fallout under attack. Fallout in 1, 22-3, 27-1 into the stretch of the Breeders' Crown. And it's Fallout. Lou Print has dead aim on the outside and pours it on. Captain Optimistic needs to do more. Sippin' On Sea-Rock zips through on the inside. Fallout digging in. Lou Print trying to get to him and doing that. It's Lou Print. Lou Print tight there with Sippin' On Sea-Rock and Fallout. And Captain Optimistic, photo for win, 149-1.
First win for Ronnie.
Looks like it was Blueprint and Ronnie Wren Jr. getting his first Breeders' Crown title and had to work right to the wire. What a gritty effort from Blueprint. Pulls the 2-hole, just going to 3/4 there. And then Fallout, he was dead game as well. They square off, and Sippin' on Searock makes it 3 across at the wire. Great drama there, 149-1, just a 5th off the stakes record.
Very game effort from Blueprint. You know, we talked at the top of the show, I don't like to talk trip handicapping because we sit up here, we think how this race is going to work out, and things oftentimes go awry behind the gate, but got to think that was an absolutely just a textbook drive for Ronnie Wren, exactly how he wanted the trip to work out, and the horse showed up and delivered.
Did he ever? And I can understand as they're going to 3/4 why he probably started to angle out, just wanted to make sure he was going to have clearance, but Captain Optimistic didn't really fire. He comes back on in the last 8th, but up until about there, you thought he's all done. He comes back a bit to finish in 4th. Nothing really happening for Swingtown, who got a nice second over trip, but Sippin' on Searock was 3rd over. He was 6th turning for home, dives down to the rail and comes skimming up the cones to make things real close. You think about kind of the momentum he probably had to lose just going outside, back down to the inside. He raced really well. Ron Burke's going to finish 1-2.
And, you know, I sat at the Meadowlands, I believe, just last year and watched Ronnie Wren come up, or excuse me, Scott Zeron come up the inside with a horse by the name of Tactical Approach. And we saw him earlier with the 2-year-old trotting colt. He had the momentum up the inside. And hats off to Scott Zeron, a very patient, very bold drive there. And as you said, Sippin' on Searock, Ron Burke finishing 1-2. And you mentioned it, but I feel the need to emphasize it. Game effort by Fallout there, doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and was strong all the way to the wire, just didn't have enough right there at the finish.
It was Blueprint who got up first, and Ronnie Wren, we heard from him earlier in the show how much it meant to him to get this opportunity in the Breeders' Crown.
And his son's here.
And his son is here, and it all comes out just beautiful here as he gets his first Breeders' Crown victory. We'll step aside and come back. We'll be in the winner's circle. When we return, Blueprint wins the Breeders' Crown.
By now, you know the name Cosa-Tv, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. Cosa-Tv has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. Cosa-Tv, taking Ontario racing global.
Well, welcome back to the Breeders' Crown on Cosa-Tv. We're live here at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And our final Breeders' Crown event for night number 1 goes to Blueprint for the Burke Brigade, and driver Ronnie Wren Jr., one of the winningest drivers in all of harness racing, gets his big moment here as they take center stage, wins his first Breeders' Crown, and Blueprint, in a great stretch duel, reaches up for the victory, 149-1. Now, Blueprint earlier this season won a remarkable 148 and 4 mile at the Red Mile, so it's not going to reach his lifetime best, but again, was just a 5th off the stakes record. We talked about how the conditions were pretty good here tonight, thought there'd be enough early pace. I'm just a little surprised at how it turns out is that the horses that got away 1-2 pretty much take us all the way to the wire.
That's right. You know, when we're talking about horses coming from off the pace, and that Blueprint was able to leave, sit close, and then had enough to finish. And he talked a little bit about Ron Burke and how sweet this must be. He, of course, stakes record, trained Sweet Lou, and now his son just a 1/5 of a second off of that stakes record by a homebred for Team Burke, Burke Racing, Weaver Bersemi, and Kalura. They, of course, raced the dam Rockin' Racer, as we talked about, an Indiana sired filly. And Blueprint, a Kentucky Sire Stakes champion, again, talking about these horses coming from all over. And there's a look at Ronnie Wren congratulating by his #1 fan there. So you love to see it, and love to see the hometown connections get the job done here.
To have his son there, just to be surrounded by family, that's awesome. Congratulations to Ronnie Wren. He'll remember that one forever. We saw James McDonald, a driver who, again, no stranger to success in the sport, just hadn't won a Breeders' Crown yet. He got his first earlier in the night. Now Ronnie Wren gets his. So, you know, you want to see some new blood in these races at times. And again, if you're a racing fan, you know who these guys are. but to see them on this stage and to get that Breeders' Crown trophy, this is just really special.
And we talk a little bit about post position and, of course, elimination winners and what have you. The post position's not favorable, but we've seen 2 post 9 winners tonight. That's Mickey and Minnie, and now Blueprint. So, as we sit up here and talk about post position and things, you can kind of throw that out the window. The best horse prevails, and that's what we saw here with Blueprint.
So congratulations to Blueprint, wins the Breeders' Crown 2-year-old colt and gelding pace. That's going to be the 3rd time Ron Burke has won this division. That's his 21st Breeders' Crown trophy. As the Burke Brigade, they always find a way to get the job done. This race sponsored by Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino. As Blueprint, it becomes a Breeders' Crown champion, and this is a division where we talk about year-end honors. Maybe this can shift it towards the way of Blueprint. It's kind of a wide-open category.
It certainly is, and I think it speaks to the depth of this group and this division, as you said. And I think it'll be interesting to see where things shake out. Everyone kind of has their favorites and things like that. But again, we keep going back to it, Mark, and that's what you got to love about the Breeders' Crown, is that they leave it all on the track. Really, no questions as far as who the best was tonight. He certainly earned that, and he's certainly going to put his name in the running for divisional honors.
Just waiting on the prices here as the celebrations continue in the Meadowlands Racetrack winner circle. Ron Burke
Not
there.
often you see that. Ron Burke by himself with the trophy. Usually he's surrounded by a group of folks. Looks like they're all filing in now. But as we said, no stranger to success, not only in the Breeders' Crown, but in this division as well.
Can we talk about Michael Carter's interview success
That's right.
here tonight? Those
That's
that
right,
he caught
folks.
up with?
Tomorrow, we just want to let you know, the folks that Mike Carter has caught up with have been in the winner circle. So heed warning tomorrow as you tune in to Cosa-Tv, and heed warning to the participants as well. I'd be lining up to be interviewed by Mike Carter tomorrow.
I'll have to let a few people know here after the races. Do not dodge Mike Carter when he comes around looking for a pre-race interview. James McDonald chatted. We also heard from Ron Burke. We heard from Marcus Melander. We heard from Ronnie Wren. So, I mean, across the board, a lot of success for those, and we always appreciate them taking some time
to
chat about their horses and how they're going to perform. It's always valuable information and just good to hear from everybody. And I think the one thing I'm going to take away here tonight, Emily, you heard from a Scott Zeron when he lost a race, how much that one hurt. A guy who's won how many big races, but coming up short in a Breeders' Crown, yeah, it stings. And then you hear what it meant for Ronnie Wren before he even won the race just to be here. So I think you get to see the passion here tonight.
It's certainly so. And as you said, that's what the Breeders' Crown is to so many. And you talk about interviews, and as you said, taking the time. It's not easy to stick a microphone or have a microphone in your face and talk about a horse that's on the track. Obviously, nerves play a factor. And these are horses, and there's 9 other horses hoping that they don't do what you said. So hats off to those guys for taking the time, as you said, and certainly love hearing from them a lot more than they probably love hearing from us.
All right, we'll go to the winner circle now.
But had to feel good about this guy's chances turning for home.
Yeah, once I seen, Ronnie's able to get out underneath Dexter, and I was just like, please keep steering. I don't know what he was doing. He was just kind of trying to lay in on Timmy. And then last second I could see Scotty up the rail, and I hate to say it, but I didn't want Scotty beating him either. They're both my colts, but this is my colt.
And a true homebred for you, and to win in the Breeders' Crown, where it is about the breeders, and to come full circle like this. How special is it for you in your operation?
Especially this colt, he was trained at the farm. He didn't even go to Florida. He was left up at the half-mile track, and like all winter I kept telling the guys down Florida, listen, we got one up there that can beat all of yours. And they're like, you're crazy. I'm like, I'm telling you, the best colt we have is up there. And we've battled all year between our group trying to who's the best, and tonight he gets to be the best.
And winning it with Ronnie Wren, a guy that drives a lot for you at various tracks, and to get his first win ever at the Meadowlands a week ago, and now capture a Breeders' Crown. How special is that?
I have all the faith in Ronnie in the world. After last week, I was a little bit like, dude, come on, like we need to put him in play. But you know what? He had him ready for tonight. He did a good job, and then when it counted, he knows what it takes to win. I'm very impressed. I'm very happy for him also.
And just a thought on your overall group that came into this final tonight. Is this maybe the best overall group of 2-year-old colt pacers you've had at this point in the year?
Yeah, I mean, it's they're incredible. They're all good. They try hard, and we even have some other ones that aren't in here that are nice, really nice colts. But these guys are special. And, Sipping on Sea Rock, I got to give him credit. It just kept getting better and better all the way till the end here. So, great job by them guys. Those are breeders. And the girl that used to work for us, and, I'm really happy for her too.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's Ronnie Burke adding another Breeders' Crown trophy to his mantle, and he gets it done with Blueprint. Ronnie Wren Jr. in the bike, 149-1.
O'Brien Award Breeder of the Year, Terra Hills, is home to harness racing's most exciting young stallions. Green Manalishi's first crop has taken Ontario and the Grand Circuit by storm. It includes Peaceful Way winner Mona Lishi.
With the
World champion Cattle Wash has seen multiple New Jersey Sire Stake winners from his first crop, including final winning filly Reckless Abandon. His 2024 yearlings are eligible to the Ontario Sire Stakes. Don't miss your chance to buy one of their sons or daughters this fall. For more, visit terrahills.com.
By now, you know the name Cosa-Tv, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. Cosa-Tv has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. Cosa-Tv, taking Ontario racing global.
Sealster, a name synonymous with quality. From their picturesque farm in Lucan, Ontario, Sealster Farms has been producing champions for decades. Stars like $650,000 winner Poseidon Sealster, millionaire mares Karma and Kendall Sealster, and two-time O'Brien Award-winning Stockade Sealster. Sealster is also the home of many of Canada's top stallions, like Sunshine Beach, All Bets Off, and world champion superstar Bulldog Hanover, the sport's all-time fastest performer. Find your next champion at Sealster Farms. For more information, visit sealsterfarms.com.
Welcome you back to the Meadowlands, night number 1 of the Breeders' Crown. Slowly wrapping up now. Still a few races to go on the live program here at the Meadowlands, but the Breeders' Crown races are complete. Mark McKelvey, Emily Ratcliffe with you. And Emily, we're at that portion in the night where we start to wrap things up and we reflect on what we saw. The fun part is we're looking ahead to 8 more Breeders' Crown races tomorrow night. So before we turn the page to tomorrow, looking at tonight, do you have an MVP or kind of a star of the evening?
Great question again, putting me on the spot. And, actually, I was looking forward to tomorrow because you're going out a winner. We got a price on Blueprint. Yep. And just when I thought I was going to throw my handicapping in the trash, we were able to bounce back and we got a little bit of a bankroll headed into tomorrow. But, again, the Breeders' Crown just doing what the Breeders' Crown does. Absolutely love to see Maryland get the job done and, just, again, cement his kind of greatness. Love to see greatness in the making, and that's what I think with Maryland. And then, as I said, Blueprint, a big fan of this horse, and I know Ron Burke has been a big fan of this horse, and to see his, he go out on a limb and to see him rewarded, I think that speaks highly. And of course, Ronnie Wren Jr. getting his first win. Yeah,
he gets his first. James McDonald got his first. Dexter Dunn wedged in between, winning 2 more as he just continues to make the Breeders' Crown kind of his own playground, or so it does seem. We're going to go to another interview. I believe Mike Carter has a guest. No, we're going to go to him in a little bit. Heather, she's already set up in the Diamond Creek Winners Lounge. You said the champagne's been flowing all evening long. We'll check in for a final time with Heather.
Oh, hey, everybody. We're at the Diamond Creek Winners Lounge. I am here with Larry Carr, part of the Burke Racing, the Burke Brigade, if you... Big grade. Yeah. Thank you. All right. All right. So let's talk about that big win. First of all, you own this horse along with Burke Racing and Weaver Buscemi and Phil Calora. Let's talk about the mare a little bit. Who was she, and tell me about her?
Yeah, I have to give all the credit for the mare to Mark Weaver. Mark Weaver bought her off of On Gate for $10,000, and we tried to get her going, and she broke down, and then we ended up we bred her to our home stallion, Lou, Sweet Lou.
Lou has been so sensational, definitely like a super stallion. And obviously, like winning a Breeders' Crown tonight, it's so spectacular. You have an entire entourage here, by the way. It's almost hard to hear and hear. It's so fabulous.
You know, I'm just thinking about it. It's 10 years ago, or more than 10 years ago, that Sweet Lou won himself as a 2-year-old up in Mohawk. And to have his son win maybe, I think, 14 or 15 years later is so gratifying. It actually seems surreal.
Talk about this race tonight and how you were feeling.
You know, we had actually 4 horses in the race, so it's very difficult to keep track of who is who, which seems pretty crazy. But I actually felt most confident in Swingtown and this colt. This colt has been fantastic all around, and I got to give a lot of credit to Ronnie Wren for having the guts to put him in play and, you know, give him a chance to win.
Thank you so much. You know what? Just say Burke Brigade 4 times in a row. Not very easy, okay? All right.
Well, we love the brigade. I'm a die-hard member of the brigade.
Same. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Back to you guys.
It's also not easy to say when you've had a little bit of champagne, so I can understand that for sure.
Remember when we said was there going to be some left when we got over
I don't
there?
think so. I think we're hosed on that, Mark.
Yeah, they might have
I think we're gonna have to find our own champagne.
Call in a new supplier for tomorrow night. 8 more Breeders' Crown races coming up. Congratulations to the connections of Lou Print. Let's send things over right now to Mike Carter. I mentioned we were going to bring him in. He's standing by all by himself, but I want to get his final thoughts. Mike, a real fun night. I know for you as somebody from the Buckeye State, really happy to see Ronnie Wren Jr. get his first Breeders' Crown.
Absolutely, and I got to tell you, if Cam could have had a camera on me, I'm not sure that I would have been able to contain myself. What a great night for harness racing. What a great night for Ohio. What a great night for Ronnie Wren. It's been a lot of fun to watch the racing action here tonight, and I got to tell you, the long shots picking up their victories here this evening has been amazing to watch.
Action here tonight, some superstar performances like the one we saw from Maryland. Then you see the efforts, a great battle by Lou Print, going all the way back there, the Svanstead filly that got the job done. I mean, there was some good efforts here tonight, and it just sets the table for tomorrow. And tomorrow you'll have another chance if you want to join in at contestjockey.com. Let's take a look though at the leaderboard as it stands. Still a couple more races here tonight.
Jeremy Brewer is just adding to it.
Yeah,
shout out to Jeremy.
Another $2,000.
That a guy. He keeps rolling.
$10,000.
Roll that right into tomorrow.
Almost the lead right now. It's almost $10,000. So Jeremy Brewer is just crushing it. So congratulations to him, to everybody you see in the top 10 there. Lots of people playing along. So
I got to give a shout out too to the females playing along. Yeah. Tiffany and Luana, I believe. But shout out to you, Girl Power. Rock on in the top 10.
I was going to say, if you didn't get in, you've got lots of time to get in for tomorrow. You've got almost 24 hours, so make sure you sign up. Go to contestjockey.com. All the details are right there. All right, that's going to do it for night number 1 of the Breeders' Crown. We are back at it tomorrow night. Greg Blanchard will be in this seat. He'll be with Emily on the desk. Mike will be roaming around as per usual. And we've got 8 championship races coming up tomorrow night. We kick things off with the ladies on the trot. We'll finish things off with the ladies on the pace. 6
Is that
other
the one you're
finals.
looking forward to? You put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Which one are you looking forward to tomorrow?
I'm actually going to go with the open trot.
Okay.
And you know why? Because
Logan
I think
Park
Logan Park has been racing really well post 10, so he's got to mix things up. Winner's bet, though.
Yeah.
You know, he's a bit of a powerhouse, but maybe we'll see a big surprise now. I wouldn't be surprised if we got one of those big shockers. Maybe that could be the race. You know the favorites aren't going to sweep it tomorrow night. Somebody's going to add some fireworks. It's just a matter of figuring that out, and now we go back to the drawing board and try and study up for tomorrow.
That's right. Any trends or anything from tonight that you're parlaying into tomorrow?
You know what? That's a good question. From the 4 finals, I mean, again, you look at how those races played out, and some
Post
of them
9, not a factor. You know, where I was maybe you know, being a little too hard on the outside horses, not a factor tonight.
No, and they got off the wings pretty good there. I mean, just look how Fallout and Lou Print left there and really didn't get used all that hard to make it to the lead. So maybe, you know, we'll see if the inside can try to hold ground and we get some hardball. You never know. There's a good chance that'll happen with that kind of money on the line tomorrow evening. Emily, this was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Our first time actually working together, yes. So appreciate that and enjoy that. And I know we were talking a little bit about the Breeders' Crown and, of course, being on the other side of the Breeders' Crown. Quite a nice change of pace being right here, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself tonight.
I have too, and looking forward to being back here tomorrow. We hope that you can join us for our live coverage. On behalf of the entire crew, enjoy the rest of your Friday night. We'll see you tomorrow for night number 2 of the Breeders' Crown from the Meadowlands.
A lot happens in a year. New faces fight for their moment of glory.
And it's Nijinsky in deep stretch. Drawing clear. Nijinsky hauls home the Pepsi North America Cup.
I think we're going to see him more and more in the next few weeks or months.
Champions look to defend their thrones.
Twin B. Joe Fresh, she's going to get her 9th of the season and win the Dayton Distaff Derby. She is in a field all alone, a Twin B. Joe Fresh.
Others try to cement their monstrous campaign.
But it's by the missile, decisive winner.
All while the crowd cheers for victory.
It's all Captain Albano and Tom McCarthy.
Now, at the Meadowlands Racetrack in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the best in the sport face off to be crowned as champions. 2 nights, 12 divisions, 1 goal. It all comes down to the Breeders' Crown.